start the YouTube recording. And there we go. Yeah, just segueing out of my extended discussion on VTuber character design to actually begin the recording of this goddamned episode. Episode 5 of the amazing Digital Circus. Untitled is what the episode is called, which is curious. Wonder what that could mean. Given the general tone of the amazing Digital Circus, that sounds like it might be foreshadowing something a bit scary. A little bit spoopy, perhaps. But I suppose there's only really one way to find out, isn't there?
Welcome back, my candy hearts and paper flowers!
Whoa!
Again, the liquid rendering engine and the way that it interacts with the character models, which is to say that it doesn't. Like, Ragatha's dress doesn't get wet, it just gets water collecting on it, right? Same thing with Kinger's robe. It is one of those things, like, I see it and I have this instinct to go, oh, that's not really very well rendered water, but then it's like, right, because that's the point, because they're inside this like sort of slightly glitchy, not necessarily perfectly functional like VR emulation of a world, so like of course they don't have a What do your parts say about you, Circus? So of course they don't have like a super high fidelity, real time sort of like materials interaction engine. Of course, the gag. At some point there has to be an episode where Gangle's mask does not get broken. Like you could probably structure a whole episode around Gangle's comedy mask almost being broken or nearly being broken or seeming like it's set up to being broken. I don't know.
Back my candy hearts and paper flowers.
Whoa!
I do love a good flop. Everybody do the flop! Boom. And speaking of flops, like, flop animations like this, right? There's, again, that question of, like, the naturalistic versus that which is not. And that one of the things that happens to Pomni here is, as she falls, she doesn't bounce, like, almost at all. Where the reality is, like, and, like, I don't know how many people have ever fallen face first right down onto the floor. Your head bounces if the floor is hard, right? Like, your whole body bounces, like, force feeds back through your body, especially like look at the way her leg position. The tips of her toes are basically glued to the floor, right? Like she sort of falls around a pivot almost as though she's attached to the floor with magnets and then dish, right? And that's a specific aesthetic choice, right? Like the aesthetic of how does a character fall over does so much to inform the comedy of the moment, right? Where if you render a character falling over a little bit too, as it were, realistically, then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, that looks like it hurt. Are they okay? Whereas if you do that, oh, okay, this is a funny fall over. This is a comedy fall over bit where they fall over very suddenly and unnaturally. But haha, we laugh. And like, that's a subtle thing, but like you can pay attention to that in a lot of animation. Is like the way in which a character's physics is negotiated relative to their environment can do so much to inform the tone of physical violence. It can do so much to inform the tone of, like, slapstick. It can do so much to inform the tone of a narrative beat. When a character is falling, stumbling, falling over, like, unsteady on their feet, just the way that you choose to render their interaction with gravity, like, it changes the vibe of it. This is a classic comedy fall over because it's so... right? Like, it's so sudden. She doesn't crumple. She doesn't kind of go, oh my god, on my head. Like, she doesn't sort of stagger anything. It's just she goes from upright to laying down in, like, one motion. Bonk. Magnetized to the floor in a very unnatural way, but that's what makes it funny.
Whoa!
it. Sure could have gone better. But I'm sure the next adventure will be less...
It's kind of interesting to see, like, because again, Ragatha is functionally made of plastic, right? Like, when it comes to the interaction that she has with water, even though she's like a Raggedy Ann doll, technically a plush puppet, you can see that it's just like water just purls on her. And the same thing with dirt, right? Like, these things just sit on her as little bits that are like attached to her character model. So she looks very, very plastic when she gets wet, which, don't clip that out of context.
What?
Same thing with Pomni, right? Like, it's the water pearls just on her, right? It never interacts with her. So it's interesting the way that, like, when you interact the characters with an element like this, with water, with dirt, with things, it's interesting how that, like, changes the way that their physicality appears.
Hey, Ragatha, can you help me count my eggs before they hatch?
Oh, yeah, of course. Wait, what?
He just means he just means like he has chicken eggs for some reason, right? Like Caine spawned some like chickens and he's speaking in metaphor, right? Chat, he's speaking in metaphor, right? It, like, perfect moment to open the pillow fort, and it's like, hey, Spamton, G. Spamton, voiced by... And it turns out he's been giving Kinger pippies.
Looks like that oh-so-positive Ragatha charm is starting to wear off, huh?
Huh, little NPC dummy.
Yeah, of course. Wait, what?
Looks like that oh-so-positive Ragatha charm is starting to wear off, huh?
It looks like Jello. Like, it just looks like Jello.
Looks like this one was a home.
No, I need to see that bee. He's drawn his own bee Sona. Aw.
This one was a home run, eh?
Oh, Zooble, you mismatched cash piano, I'll tear you to pieces! Constructive criticism would be greatly appreciated.
Me reading YouTube comments, yeah.
Cash piano, I'll tear you to pieces! Constructive criticism would be greatly appreciated.
But never acknowledged.
That's it! Everybody besides Zooble, get over here!
Oh, chicken eggs. Chicken eggs. Chicken eggs. Chicken eggs.
Cash piano, I'll...
Oh, yeah, they immediately do the... Yeah, like, look at the way his arms inflate. Oh, I like that. Like, as they render the anger... Like, look at the specific way they deform his, like, tooth head. Is like the way the jaw gets so wide, specifically. He grows little things. That's very cute. Right? Like, we get this, like, ultra-wide jaw, and, like, really using the top of the teeth as his eyebrows, but also, like, expanding this idea of Caine as, like, capable of consuming, right? Like, it's like a very basic sort of predatory character design in the sense of, like, we widen the character's mouth, we enlarge their teeth, and sort of use that implication of the ability to eat as a way to increase menace.
This one was a home run, eh?
Oh, Zooble, you mismatched cash piano, I'll tear you to pieces! Constructive criticism would be greatly appreciated.
But never acknowledged.
I think everyone feels like that sometimes. Like that thing of like, you're trying to hold the mask, and then something just kind of grinds against the blackboard of your soul.
That's it! Everybody besides Zooble, get over here! Everyone, I'm going to pitch to you some future adventure ideas, and I'm going to ask you to give me your honest opinions on them.
I was gonna sleep.
Alright, so I've got an adventure where you all tour my amazing magic chocolate factory and get killed off one by one from OSHA violations, one where a sentient cardiovascular system goes to war against the United States military, and one where you have to survive in a post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland with a telepathic talking dog who's mean to you the whole time.
Shit, I'd watch a movie on any of those premises. Has anyone done the Chocolate Factory one? That sounds original. Oh, that's cute. Look at Gangle's arms blowing in the breeze as she's like pulled.
Everyone, I'm going to pitch to you some future adventure ideas, and I'm going to ask you to give me your honest opinions on them.
I was gonna sleep.
Alright, so I've got an adventure where you all Alright, so
I like the way they do, like, again, I don't think I'm ever going to stop talking about Caine's mouth animation, but in this particular shot, like, the relative stillness of him, like, he's holding that pose, his eyes focus in, and the way that the eyes just stay still while the teeth are the thing moving, but, like, the eyes just don't tether to the motion of the teeth at all, that's actually a really fun way to do it. Because, like, a lot of the time when Caine talks, like, it's like his eyes are, like, staying still, right? Like, but a lot of the time also his eyes deform, like, very specifically deform, and act and react relative to the behavior of, like, here where, like, you can see that the teeth literally pop out of the mouth. Like, they do a lot to sort of emphasize the talking, but as he's just kind of rattling this thing off,
Alright, so I've got an adventure where you all tour my amazing magic chocolate factory and get killed off one by one from OSHA violations, one where a sentient cardiovascular system goes to war against the United States military, goes to war against the United States.
His presentation style here is also fun. Like, well, I mean, fuck it, like Caine. Everything he does all the time is basically fun to look at when you can see it. But just, like, look at the fucking fun they have just stretching and deforming him completely, like, setting up for this baseball throw. This art just... He gets to be rubber in such interesting ways a lot of the time. Because, like, the one thing about Caine that impresses me a lot is that he never feels off model. He never feels off model. Like, that's another impressive thing, is that, like, because they established that so much of his body language is so rubber, right? So much of it is so mutable all the time. You can do completely deranged things to his character model, and it never feels poorly posed. It never feels like he's gone off model.
Magic chocolate factory and get killed off one by one from OSHA.
Sorry. Ever since I can't help it.
Got an adventure.
like, but the fact that Caine can distort so extremely, right? That he can. That his body can be transformed so extremely, and it always feels like this is correct for who the character is. You couldn't really, I think, in the same way do that with the other characters. Like, I don't think they quite... well, maybe Jax, because he's already such a rubber hose character, but I think there is a limit to how much you can really distort, for example, Pomni in those ways. Like, it's one thing to do it during, like, an emotional outburst, right? Or, like, when I'm really angry, or when I'm in, like, extreme physical stress, or performing a wild action. It's something else to do it when the character's really just performing a dialogue scene, or a monologue, more specifically, that we can distort the character so extremely, and yet they never feel like they're going off model. Like, they never feel like they're becoming incorrect to themselves, right? This is, like, if you remember, like, this is one of the things about, like, Steven Universe. Like, one of the common criticisms that show got sometimes was that characters often just kind of looked really off model, because it was a very board-based show. Like, they had these board animators, like, who defined a lot of the look of each episode, and so different board artists would have different takes on the exact character design of the various characters, and, like, the exact physicality, right? And that was a criticism that the show got sometimes, is the characters often felt inconsistent and kind of off-model from episode to episode. I never thought that was particularly a big deal, like, the characters are recognizable, but it is one of those things that, like, you can criticize that. Like, that is a thing that can reduce the cohesiveness and the feeling of internal consistency in a show. And I'm just constantly sort of genuinely quite impressed with how far Caine can be distorted in casual conversation and still feel entirely like himself. And that's all, like, that's stage setting, that's like creating context for the character. It's in the same way that the genie can do it in Aladdin, right? In Aladdin, the genie can sort of, like, take on any shape. He can become parodies of other characters. He can look like Marlon Brando. He can look like TV host, because Robin Williams is doing his wild improv, and the genie was designed for that, right? That's part of why the genie in Aladdin looks the way that he does. Like, that's part of why they rendered him as essentially a smoke cloud that sort of steams out of the tip of the lamp and has, like, this very bulbous, rounded design. It was to give his model the freedom to be so malleable in a way that you don't get if the character of the genie just kind of looks like a human guy, Will Smith. Like, that's part of the reason why the genie in the live-action Aladdin is, like, you really got the sense of, like, oh, there's only really fucking so much we can do here, because there's only so much you can do to Will Smith before he goes off model and just doesn't look like it's Will Smith playing the genie anymore, right? Whereas the highly stylized, kind of Al Hirschfeld-y, actually, in the way that the genie's, like, the line work on the genie in Aladdin. I should fucking do a reaction to Aladdin at some point, shouldn't I? Just so I can sit here and yap about... I'll get copyright claim to hell by Disney. Just so I can sit here and yap about how fucking brilliant the genie is in that movie as a piece of animation. But the genie was designed from step one as a piece of 2D animation to be ultra malleable, like to be capable of doing these complete physical transformations all the time and yet remain recognizable. Caine, I don't really get the sense that he was necessarily designed quite so much with that malleability in mind. I could be wrong, but I mean, there is definitely, like, well, maybe that's not fair, because, like, there are definitely rubber hose cartoon character elements to him, like the white gloves, the fact that his body is constantly covered up, he doesn't have a neck. Like, I guess those things would be quite useful for those purposes, but there's an extent to which the sheer amount they can fucking distort his anatomy, the sheer amount that they can fuck around with his arms and the length of his limbs and the relative sizes of his body parts, that's, I don't know, it feels kind of special. Like that, just testament to the strength of the character animators working on him, I think.
One where you have to survive versus who you have to survive versus to survive versus have to survive in a post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland.
Interesting that we get this film grain effect and, like, old-timey sort of TV static thing or like a film strip thing layering over it as we sort of talk about the post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland.
Apocalyptic nuclear wasteland with a telepathic talking dog who's mean to you the whole time.
Another lovely little thing, as Caine like comes in for the close-up, right? You can see they spawn these little cartoon lines. And you can actually, oh, interesting, you can actually see here, right, that the little tension lines around where his fingers are depressing the volume of the eyeball are just like little 3D objects that they have rendered, like, next to the eyeball. Just to sort of, like, to doing a very cartoony pillowiness to his eyeballs to emphasize what he's doing. Also, by the way, again, doing lip sync around the fingers that are touching his own eyes. That's, yeah.
Talking dog who's mean to you the whole time. What do you think?
I don't know. They all sound a little dark.
I can't tell a compelling story where nothing bad happens. Where's the intrigue? The stakes?
Not to mention the sex appeal.
What are you talking about?
You know, you could always try the suggestion box again. I honestly didn't hate the last one we did with it.
You didn't hate it?
He is delightful. Like, just as a piece of cartooning, Caine is just... Look at that! Look at that, they use, like... Again, it's that double usage of, like, the lower jaw of his tooth mouth, both to be, like, the lower eyelid on his eyes, so, like, to push up the eyelid so you get that squinting, like, angry squinting thing, but also being his lower jaw at the same time. So that when he does this expression, it looks like he's both, like, tensioning up his jaw and getting... But it also gives him the squint. And it also becomes, like... It is honestly a deeply impressive.
You didn't hate it?
I also, like, I wasn't just YouTube pooping for no reason. Look at that transition also, right? Like, that Caine's expression here is softening, right? He's going from, he's ready to be pissed at Zubul for, like, not liking his adventures, and then he gets that, you do? And just, it's a very nice transition from, because he's angry here, right? Like, because he's angry, because he's upset, he becomes sharp, right? Like, sharp edges, sharp points, sharp lines, all sharpness. And then as he sort of goes, oh, you do? Like, his irises grow bigger, and he becomes a little bit puppy dog-eyed, and the whole shape language of the teeth just changes, right? All of those sharp edges just smooth out instantly and become this soft, rounded, like, you do? At the same time as the teeth also become this little... They almost form around his eyes like a little hoodie, or like a little... Like he's looking out from under like a bonnet, like a baby. Like that little, like, sort of the eyeballs are inside of the tooth mouth, sort of peering out. Like, you do? It makes him cute. Like, it's a wonderful transition from, like, a cartoon, silly, angry man to a sweet, adorable little puppy dog. Like he looks like a little puppy dog that just got told he's a good boy, right? Like, good puppy. Oh, sweet puppy. Like, oh, you do? You like me? Like, it's really good. It's really good cartooning. It's really good use of shape language. Like, I would honestly, like, having talked about the genie, right? Who was the animator on that? It was Eric Goldberg was the animator on the genie, right? I don't know if he's still alive, but I would fucking love to see someone like Eric Goldberg, like someone who has that experience with, like, drawing something like the genie, try and 2D animate Caine and try and pull some of the same tricks off with line work that they're doing with the 3D rendering of the model here, because I again, so much of what Caine is and so much of what he does, I'm not saying like it would be better in 2D, but I think there's a kind of expressiveness you could get out of him as a 2D character that would be really interesting. Because so much of his animation is based on like really heavily exaggerated 2D animation styles, like classic cartooning styles. Like this right here, going from that in a quick snap to this, pure Tex Avery. Like that's pure fucking Looney Tunes. Like this particular style of like building up like these tense extreme expressions and like popping between them like that. I would love to see Caine animated by someone in 2D, like someone who really fucking plays around with it. I think there's probably an easy 1 million views in doing like an animatic of Friend Like Me, but with Caine instead of the genie. I wouldn't be surprised if someone's already done that, but like, I would love to see someone play with, like, because I'm imagining the ways in which you would render his teeth, like his denture face in 2D with lines, right? Like the way that you would play with the shape language and the movement of those, motion of movement of those lines. He wouldn't look uncanny in 2D though. No, I don't think he would. Well, he could. That's the thing. That's the thing about Caine is like, there is definitely an element of three-dimensionality to his tooth head, right? Like his denture head. This thing has a really interesting three-dimensional physicality to it that they play around with a lot. And that's why I would be curious to see how someone would tackle rendering that in 2D, because it's I think it would be really difficult. That's part of the reason why I would... That's part of the reason why I would love to see someone try it, because that seems like a really interesting challenge.
I honestly didn't hate the last one we did with it.
You didn't hate it?
It was kind of refreshing doing something grounded in reality.
Yeah, I really didn't mind that one either.
What about the rest of you?
Oh,
I very much did not
They're
enjoy that
back
one in the
on.
slightest.
No.
And if we ever do anything
These
even
end at the
close to
time.
that again, I'm getting
Things
violent,
normally
and I'm
never
going
say.
to kill Ragatha.
Well, how am I gonna please everybody if you all like different things?
Maybe just
More playing with the camera. Again, would love to see a sideways look at what Caine's character model looks like when we're playing to the camera like this. Because I think they might not even be making the arm that much longer. I think they might mostly just be making the hand really fucking big into the camera. Here's another little thing to appreciate. Look at this nice doubling. Again, very much a cartooning thing, right? This is something like, people talk about this a lot all the time, like, 2D and 3D animation being mixed together, Spider-Verse style, Caine style, like, whatever. Like, no, like, this is a cartooning thing that's, like, been present in 3D animation a lot longer than that, but I have always had a special fondness for this particular mixing, right, because, like, in 3D, theoretically, you could just render the hands going that fast. These little affectations are stylizations from 2D animation that are meant to smooth transitions between alternate frames to imply a swiftness of motion that you can't draw that at 24 frames per second because that's inefficient, so we'll do these smear things in order to sort of, like, imply a smoother motion that actually exists. I've always been so charmed to see them used like this.
If you all like a lot, all like a lot, you 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 all like a lot, if you all like different things.
maybe just keep your adventures open at all times and let us do whatever we want when we want.
Are you hearing?
Again, like, the dialogue animation for Zooble it's also fun because there's such a lot of subtlety to it. The way that they emphasize their phonemes and syllables. Right? Like, look at that little gesture with the wing that sort of coincides with them lifting their arm. Like that. Little deformation gesture with the wing. like little moves, like shifting the eyes on their face, right? Of squishing them down, of gesturing with wobbles of the body parts. So that you really get the sense that the character is like talking, that the character is expressing, even though like most of the tools available on a character's face aren't really here to do that with. It's like, it's genuinely not trivial. Like, it's genuinely not always like, it's not an easy thing to make a character like that look like they are talking.
Adventures open at all times, and there's memes, 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 and
and there's mimes and there's memes.
let us do whatever we want when we want.
Are you hearing this, Bubble? The Toy Box character wants us to leave the other intelligent AIs to run for a prolonged period of time.
Disgusting.
Am I not supposed to be hearing you?
Zippy!
Wait, is that where their mouth is?
Zippy!
What did you even zip up?
Oh.
I don't have a mouth.
Okay, well, how about this? We'll do a lightning round, going through all the suggestions in the suggestion box in rapid succession. And if you don't like one, you can all vote to skip it.
What? Like, now?
That's right. So grab your bones and pop your pansies.
See what I'm talking about when I say that Kane's character model can just kind of do shit and still look like Kane? Like, for this shot, right, like, we want him to have his shoulders up around his ears, right? Like, that's the point of this, like, gesture. Like, shoulders up around the ears, kind of conspiratorial, like leaning in, kind of. So what do? Well, we could puff up his chest, like, literally inflate his chest to make it big enough to get the shoulders up around the ears, or just fucking... just drag that shit out. Noodle arm the motherfucker.
Hearing this, Bubble? The Toy Box character wants us to leave the other intelligent AIs to run for a prolonged period of time.
Disgusting.
Interesting that he says the other intelligent AI characters. That's interesting. Because, like, oh, okay, so you're sort of implying that there are other AI characters in there that maybe operate on a similar level of consciousness as you do, Caine? I know he's an AI. Like, I understand that he's an AI system. But it's interesting that he seems to refer to them almost like peers. Almost as though, like, these other intelligent AI systems, intelligent the way that I am, but with less power over the system kind of vibe, which again sort of goes back to is like, okay, is that then implying that Gummigoo is as much of a person as Caine is? Is that implying that a little bit, that like, oh, the only reason why the other AI characters don't have full sentience is because Caine just doesn't let them run for long enough to fully develop a consciousness? Because that certainly seemed to be what was happening with Gummigoo. Like, confronted with the reality of his existence, he seemed to develop a deeper level of consciousness, right? Like, he seemed to develop the capacity to reflect on his memories and who he is and where he is. And Caine was like, oh, we can't have that. Destroyed. Which is like, you start to wonder, is like, hey, Caine, what are you worried about might happen if the other AIs become as intelligent as you are? Probably horrifying things. Given what the show is, but, oh, okay.
The Toy Box character wants us to leave the other intelligent AIs to run for a prolonged period of time.
Disgusting.
Am I not supposed to be hearing you?
Zippy!
What did you even zip up? I don't have a mouth.
Okay, well, how about this? We'll do a lightning round, going through all the suggestions in the suggestion box in rapid succession. And if you don't...
More doubling, more smearing, I appreciate it. Lovely bit of clipping as well, I think. Yeah, Yeah, really nice little, like, notice how the smears of his gloves, they're not rendered in pure white, they're rendered in gray.
In rapid succession.
That's quite nice. That makes them not too distracting, they just sort of emphasize and, yeah.
And if you don't like one, you can all vote to one can all vote to skip it, to skip it, to skip one. You can all vote to skip it.
What? Like, now?
That's right. So.
Oh, that's a lovely... I'm sorry. I'm gonna be on Caine today, I guess. I feel like I'm endlessly fascinated by him today. Look at that little setup, right? That little jiggle of the leg, anticipating what he's about to do, which is the big spin. Look at the way they deform and distort his model. Like, we're going into this, like, spin where, like, we're smearing, we're doubling, we're doing all kinds of things. And look at the way they, like, literally, like, spread his model out into that, like, spinning top shape in order to, like, layer the smears over top of it. Like, that's a really elegant way to do that. Because, like, that way they kind of just don't really have to spin the model fully. Yeah, that's a wonderful way to render that.
Like,
look at that. It's fully on some Crash Bandicoot shit.
So grab your bones and pop your pansies, cause here we go!
We just finished.
Ooh, that's a really cool perspective. That's an like, okay, that's really cool. So Caine summons the portal, right? And look at the way, like, as the camera pulls out, like, we're emulating a different kind of lens now, right? Which, like, I don't know exactly what kind of, but, like, this particular perspective and the way that it's taking in the space, this feels interestingly cinematic. Because, like, we've talked about this before, right? Like, with the previous episodes, how they changed their visual style to match the action that's being rendered. Like, how most of the time in the digital circus, we're operating on sort of a sitcom aesthetic level, right? Like, which, like, usually with fairly sort of placid cameras that stay in place, like these, like, single camera setups, right? Like, where it's like, here's one perspective, we cut to another perspective, static camera, we cut to another perspective, static camera. And then when we change styles, like when we go into the horror genre, when we go into, like, the office drama genre, or the sort of workplace drama genre. So this feels like a very sort of like, oh shit, video game cutscene ass, very cinematic kind of shot. Oh geez, looks like traveling through that particular portal is less than pleasant. Oh, I don't know that that's T-posing. I don't know what letter that is, but that is posing. That's posing for dominance. Lots of fun stretching with Jax here as well. Look at that. Like, the way that his one leg sort of seems to be tethered to the world in a way that the rest of him isn't. But then, like, his body gets pulled back and he gets splayed out like this. God, they're having fun with that rubber hose construction. Yeah, that seems like a particularly unpleasant teleportation, that one. Jeez.
Oh, wait! I know what this is.
Oh, I swear to God, if this is one of your suggestions.
Hi, everyone! In today's episode of Poach Everything, I'm going to be hunting the critically endangered red ribbon rhinoceros.
Gangle? Oh, no!
Ah, just like Mom used to make.
Oh my God.
Ah, delicious meat. 1 down, 4 to go.
All right, I'm calling a vote. Let's skip this one. And also make Jax a vegan for the rest of the day.
You can't do that.
Nice shot. Yeah. Okay, that running animation is excellent. Look at that. Oh, they're having fun with that. Honestly, this boy just needs to be puppy trained, huh?
Got it.
Delicious meat. 1 down, 4 to go.
All right, I'm calling a vote. Let's skip this one. And also make Jax a vegan for the rest of the day.
You can't do that.
Okay, so Zubul called the vote and therefore cannot vote in it, it looks like? Interesting.
What do you mean you can do that?
Sorry, Jax, democracy has spoken.
Democracy sucks.
Wait, what? Why me?
I thought a position of power suited you.
Oh my god, are these...
Again, rendering style, like a very naturalistic rendering style for the lighting here. Like, not for the, like, construction. You can look at the construction of these things and see that these things are clearly, like, they are low poly relative to reality.
All gonna be Jax's
What a lovely lighting change.
ideas?
Is that Kaufmo? What's in these pictures? I want to have a closer look at those.
Well, Miss President, it looks like there are some new developments in the ongoing war between Australia and New Zealand. We may need to take in some refugees.
There's Jax. What the fuck is happening in that one?
What do you think?
Well, how do you know what to do? What?
Didn't you get the brief?
Is that is that Theodore Roosevelt? Is that what that is?
I am just being here.
You're doing great, Pomni.
Come down here for a sec. We all got briefs on our characters.
Comic Sans? Caine! No! With ownership of both Australia and New Zealand, does kangaroo taste good? Note, no funny business. Do not embarrass the president of this great nation. Frowny face. In case a character breaks, use the zone of contemplation under the president's desk. Don't worry, a baby head lamp has been installed.
I'm your assistant.
Is that a baby head lamp?
Didn't you get one too? I figured we were all on the same page here. But if not, you're gonna have to tap into those golden improv skills.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh yeah, I didn't give you one because I wanted to see what you'd do.
Thanks.
Honestly, that sounds fun. So long as the result of failing isn't something horrible. I like this little gesture of the mouth going from, like, mouth on the left looking to the right. So, like, we have that contrast, right? Like, when the eyes are looking to the right, the mouth is pointing to the left, and then the eyes go forward, and then the mouth, like, goes over. That's really nice. That's a nice little bit of talking animation.
Jax, Jax, thanks, Jax. Appreciate it.
I'm not Jax.
That's a picture of which president is that? I've seen that picture before. I swear to God, I've seen that. Is that Roosevelt? Is there a pun there?
Oi, mate! I'm an Australian extremist, and I've come to detonate this bomb that'll release all the world's deadliest spiders into... Did I pick a bad time?
Oh. If you do a Bill Clinton joke right now, I'm gonna kill myself.
His acting is phenomenal. It's hard to believe he's vegan.
Why wouldn't the president have a bomb squad?
Don't worry, President Pomni. I believe you can do this.
There's centipedes in there, too.
Just be sure you know what you're doing.
Okay, well, which wire do I cut?
Follow your heart.
You stay out of this. Shouldn't you be arrested or something?
Hey, I'm on your side here.
You're literally not.
Come on, just pick your favorite color.
Like the red one?
I'd personally go with blue. Blue's my favorite color, it being closest to black and all.
Wouldn't black be your favorite color then?
Well, no, there's no black wire.
Hi! I'm a New Zealand extremist, and I don't know what New Zealanders threaten people with.
Endless references to Lord of the Rings movies, mostly. Oh, or a movie of your favorite franchise directed by Taika Waititi. Ooh, nice flash frame. There's going to be some flashing lights here for a second. I do love a good flash frame. Because it's the little things, like the way it outlines like the shape of the desk and the characters. Like, it's nice. Hey, well, I mean, I was talking about 2D animation. Okay. Well, now we're back in my wheelhouse. Let's see. Animated on 2s and 3s by the looks of it. Oh, that's a fun way to do Zooble. Gangle. I mean, this feels like Gangle might have a lot of fun with it. Is this Gangle's suggestion? That would be adorable.
What is this? I don't like this.
Oh, who made that? Is that still just in-house with Glitch? I'm sorry, I need to take in some details here. Oh, there's some interesting adaptations being made of the character designs. People have drawn the most outrageously horny fan art of Jax in this suit, haven't they? Okay, my assumption would be that these are other Glitch my assumption would be that these are other Glitch characters from some of their other shows, and they're like Easter egging them here.
What is this? I don't like this.
Oh, can it? At least we finally have one that's by someone else.
Yeah, there's nothing more fun than being back in school.
Just give it a...
Okay, interesting way to render Jax's mouth here. Because, like, there are things about, like, when... Like we talked about, like trying to render these 3D characters in 2D, it presents interesting challenges. I quite like this, though. Like, they really are approaching it like I talked about with Jax when I was first looking at his character design. They really are approaching it as though he is like a purple skin stretched over like this sort of yellowed wooden body kind of vibe.
Yeah, there's nothing more fun than being back in school.
Just give it a chance, Jax. Jeez.
There's nothing wrong with your suggestion.
How did we know it was your suggestion? Oh, honestly, Gangle. Okay, hang on. I can do things in software. Oh, I spy some Yuri. I gotta say, it also looks a little bit like Gangle has read How to Draw Manga by Katie Coop. I activated a few neurons with that one.
How did you know this was my suggestion?
Can you believe this, Pomni? First she draws anime, now she drags us all into one. She must be one of them, losers.
You threw me out of a moving truck.
All right, class. Today we're
I like that too. The glasses on, like, because Kinger's eyes are all like, they're all wobbly, fucked up relative to each other. So the way they're rendering the glasses is like, oh, that's quite fun. Oh, I like that. Like, as an again, that thing about like how 2D has to kind of adapt to these odd three-dimensional objects. That's pretty cool, the way they're rendering Kinger's glasses. So, let's see here. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we're operating at a fairly low frame rate, even for anime. Like, anime has a tendency to operate on, like, 3s and 4s anyway, a lot of the time. But we are definitely operating at quite a low frame rate, which sort of, like, it speaks to the budget of this, not necessarily in terms of money, but certainly in terms of time. And interesting, okay.
today we're gonna
Not necessarily a criticism, this, but, like, you can see we're missing some in-between frames from certain things, right? Like, here, even like a seasonal anime, even some a fairly low-rent seasonal anime would do a little bit more to sort of ease this kind of transition.
learn the popular foreign language known as English.
This is boring. I vote we skip it.
Shut up, we're not skipping it.
Slice of life animes are the worst ones. It's embarrassing.
We have opinions on which animes are the best ones, do we, Jax? I'm sorry, I think I sniff a bigger weeb than perhaps you're willing to admit, bunny boy. Which are the ones you like? Is he genuinely going to be a Dragon Ball Z kid? Like, is he genuinely going to be like... Or is he going to be a fucking Rising of the Shield hero, isekai, like, vengeance edgelord slop dude? He's a power scaler for sure. Yes, Jax is absolutely a fucking power scaler. Jax is absolutely the fucking guy talking about, like, whether Goku could beat Gear 5 Luffy. He voted for solo leveling. I don't think Jax would, like... I don't think Jax would go after solo leveling. Hang on, let me try and think through this. What kind of anime would Jax actually be into? I think he would be a kid who was into Dragon Ball, right? A kid who was into Dragon Ball and Bleach, right? And that sort of formed the basis of his engagement with it. And then he seems like a kid who would have really strong opinions on Gundam seasons. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. I think this is someone who, like, has really strong opinions about Gundam seasons. And, like, who's, like, very specific about, like, oh yeah, the ones where there's lots of, like robot anime fights in space are good, and the ones where they're sort of dealing with the horrible toll of violence and war is like, well, they're very deep, right? Like, I think he's someone who's, like, really, really insists that Gundam is, like, really deep, And like, and it is like Gundam can be very deep. It can like, what would he think of? And yeah, Evangelion. I think Jax would have watched Evangelion and have been made very uncomfortable by it. I think Jax would have watched Evangelion and have become really uncomfortable and just like, I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to examine why I'm made really uncomfortable by Evangelion. Because he's like, he feels too much of himself in Shinji. Like, I think that's the kind of kid. That's probably the kind of kid he is. And, like, maybe Death Note also... Like, yeah, Death Note will be, like, the first time he had, like, a thinking man's... Like, Death Note is the first, like, with, oh, shit, this shit is really cool and smart. Yeah, he thinks he's light. Well, no, because, like, Jax... Okay, this is my reading of the character so far, but Jax strikes me as someone who grasps for nihilism out of desperation, right? Like, who grasps for that particular kind of dissociation. Of like just being cruel to other people, just being nihilist, just like acting as though nothing in the world really matters. That feels like cope from Jax to me. Like this feels like it feels like the cope of someone who actually has a sensitive soul, but who has never learned the strength it takes to be vulnerable about it. Like, that's the kind of asshole Jax strikes me as someone who feels things quite deeply, but who hates that he does that, and who hates that he himself is sensitive to these things. And therefore, he lashes out at other people who are more emotionally, like, vulnerable than he is, right? I think that's part of why he likes to bully Gangle, is because Gangle is like, quite earnest about her emotions. Gangle honestly loves the things that she loves, right? Jax keeps running away from these things to only take pleasure in, like... He only takes pleasure from ruining stuff, right? Because caring is cringe, right? Because engaging deeply with something is cringe. That's kind of how Jax strikes me, which again is why I think he would feel very uncomfortable with Evangelion. Because that's a show that kind of grips at that in a way that can feel like quite invasive if you're vulnerable to it. Irony poisoned. Yeah, there's like definitely the kind of kid who would go online in anime communities and find like the other sort of irony poisoned edgelords and sort of be like the kind of kid that if he was coming up on the internet like 5 years ago would have fallen hard into like an alt-right pipeline, but he would never have gone full Nazi, right? Like he would be the kind of kid that falls into the alt-right pipeline insofar as he enjoys owning the feminists and owning the libs. He would never go full Nazi because that's caring about something too much. That's cringe. We don't want to do that. But he would be the kind of little shithead who's like, well, I'm just stirring shit up. Like, I'm just a nihilist. I just don't care about anything. I'm just like, yeah, if you can't take the trolling. That's the kind of kid that he would be. Like, I feel like that's kind of where Jax is as a character. It's that thing of like nihilism and refusing to give a shit about other people are the only tools he has for dealing with how deeply he himself feels things, right? He seems like a very unhappy person, like a deeply, deeply unhappy person. Like that's fundamentally that's like a lot of the like a bunch of the characters in Amazing Digital Circus. Like it feels like there's a core of deep unhappiness inside of them. Like Ragatha and Jax are similar in that regard, right? Like they feel like people who have kind of similar emotional issues but opposite responses to it. Incel to trans pipeline Jax. Yeah, I mean I'm not really in a position to comment on that one, but I can absolutely see like very lonely guy, way too online. Has a lot of trouble with his emotions and like feeling things authentically and is afraid of what might happen to his identity if he starts to feel his feelings authentically. And that's a thing of like, yeah, like that can absolutely describe a person who's like in denial about a part of their identity. But that's my vibe about him. Like definitely Attack on Titan would be a thing that he would be into because Attack on Titan has so much of that particular, like you can find brotherhood and companionship and friendship in like violent military action. And like, yeah.
I mean, I guess it's not as embarrassing as that time Gangle took an anime figure and...
Yeah, that's fine. But let's skip this one.
Gangle took an anime figure and... what? Made it... I don't think he's implying the jar. I don't think he's even implying the jar. I think whatever he's implying is not about something like that. I think it would be something like Gangle took an anime figure and acted out a scene from her favorite anime and like had a kiss with it or something like a favorite anime figure of a magical girl, and then she was playing out a little Yuri scene and then they kissed. That feels more like the kind of thing that Gangle would be extremely embarrassed about.
Let's skip this one.
An Alphys moment, yes, exactly.
Are we just chilling for this one? Can I finally relax?
I guess so, but I prefer a little bite to my adventures.
How? How did you...
Adventures.
Is that the first time we've seen... No, it's not the first time we've seen the characters consume things, but... okay.
And why don't you help yourself to a sandwich?
Here.
Thanks.
Do you think Gangle is actually capable of being happy?
Projection. 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 That is the most projection-as... I have that's the most projection-as question. The most projection-as... Holy shit. Do you think Gangle is actually capable... Who are you actually asking that question about, Jax? Jesus fucking Christ. Especially given that Gangle is so much the target of Jax's bullying. Like, again, I really do get the sense that part of why Jax targets Gangle is, first of all, because Gangle is vulnerable, right? Like, Gangle doesn't have the strength, a lot of the... Well, not so much the strength, but doesn't so much have the fortitude to push back against him directly a lot of the time. But also because... Like I said, I think Jax is very, very frustrated and upset by the fact that Gangle can be authentic about her emotions and feelings and her creativity and what she likes and what she wants. And Jax can't do that. Like, he doesn't have access to any other emotional expression except disdain, anger, frustration, and pain, right? Which is, like, again, very teenage boy, right? Like, but very teenage boy specifically in that, like, patriarchal way of, like, well, if you're a man, the only emotions you're allowed to have access to are anger, and that's it. Like, you can be angry. That's your emotion that you can have. You can be angry, or you can be stoic and unaffected, right? Like, that stoicism can take the form of, like, a lack of emotional affect, or it can take the form of smugness and superiority and, like, I'm constantly in control of everything around me. I'm never affected by anything. That's what Jax feels like to me. And when you are in that headspace, which, like, a lot of teenage boys are, I remember being in that headspace, especially women become the target of disdain because women are encouraged to have a more full emotional experience, and men get jealous of that shit. I can tell you that firsthand. Men get so jealous of the allowances that are made for women to have access to their feelings, right? Which is like, and then that jealousy gets projected into misogyny of like, well, it's stupid and weak, and having feelings is dumb, and like it's evidence that women cannot be trusted to blah blah blah, like whatever the fuck. Like, you make up the misogyny just kind of makes up an excuse to hate women for having access to anything that men can't have, right? Like, it's arbitrary and stupid. But I remember being a teenager and being in that headspace of, like, resenting women but not really understanding why, and then later in life coming to realize, like, oh, right, it's because they were allowed to have friendships that weren't based on mutual abuse, right? They were allowed to have friendships that aren't like, if you ever show any vulnerability in front of your boys, their primary response to that is going to be to mock you for it, right? Change the group chat name and, like, call you a piss baby. And then women get to actually have emotions and feelings and like express themselves with, again, from the outside perspective, seeming authenticity that men can't have in their emotional lives, right? And again, like there are interior, like internalized misogynies for women as well, right? Like, but I'm speaking from a teenage male perspective. That's what it feels like, right? And that's also where you get like a lot of the, like, you hear MRAs, right? Like MRAs will constantly men's rights stuff, and they'll constantly talk about the world as if it's set up to like benefit women inherently, and men are like oppressed, like all that fucking bullshit. But it comes in part from just a deep jealousy that women don't get emotionally castrated at the age of 11, right? Because men do. Like we like, and I choose the word castration specifically because it is. That's what it is. Like, it is a cutting off from the fullness of the experience of being a man. Like, that's what toxic patriarchy does. It's not that, like, being a man is bad. Masculinity isn't toxic. Being a man isn't evil. But toxic masculinity is about severing you away from the vast majority of the human experience and reducing manhood down to, like, this very narrow, very crushing definition that if you do not live up to it at all times, and it's a definition that pretty much like that is pretty much founded on the hatred of women and hatred of all things womanly. Like, yeah, anyway, that went off on a tangent there, but that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from Jax. Like, his specific mode of disengagement, that specific smugness and nihilism and, like, this constant desire to do violence that he's resorting to, that feels like that kind of person, right? And that kind of person, I know from experience, targets people like Gangle, especially like anyone who's femme or feminine in the eyes of a toxic man, and that could be men or women. If you're a boy, you just get called, well, you know what you get called. Won't use that word here. Like, that kind of male frustration, that kind of nihilistic self-denial and like emotional deadness often finds an outlet in targeting women or targeting people who are more feminine in their expression, right? That feels to me like the relationship between Jax and Gangle, in a nutshell, is Jax is projecting so much of himself into this. And in that sense, by abusing Gangle, he's kind of abusing himself by proxy, right? He's punishing his own emotions by punishing them in Gangle, right? As a way to self-reinforce that I will never be like that. I will never have feelings. I will never be cringe, right? Like, I'll never be that. And the way that I'm going to prove that I'm never going to be that is by punishing it, right? Like, by attacking it. And thus we reinforce to ourselves that, like, my identity is being not that, right? But the reality is that every human being has a full and complex emotional experience, and the more that you deny it, the more you hurt yourself.
Do you think Gangle is actually capable of being happy?
Projection! Right, like, Gangle is just having a nice time with Zubul. Gangle is just enjoying herself. She's just being in the world, having a good time for just a moment. And Jax's response to that is like, well, that has to be fake, though, right? You can't have emotions and feelings and be authentic and be happy. Gangle has to be miserable. Gangle has to be as miserable as I am. Because that's the only thing that makes sense. Because if Gangle is happy, and Gangle gets to have emotions, and Gangle gets to have feelings, and Gangle gets to earnestly enjoy anime, and, like, draw her pictures, and like, be nice to people and be liked, and then she also gets to be happy at the same time, well, that doesn't make sense, because those things are supposed to be bad and weak, and I hate them in myself, so why does she get rewarded for it? Right?
Actually capable of being happy?
Anyway, I might be reading entirely too much into this. It's just that this shot and the way he phrases the question and, like, God, that feels like projection. That feels like such a deep projection.
What?
I don't know, like, her comedy mask still breaks every day. Does she think hanging out with Zubul is gonna magically fix that?
Maybe she just doesn't want to hang out with someone who's mean to her all the time.
She likes when I'm mean to her, though.
I didn't think you cared about what other people like.
No, yeah, you're right. I don't.
Motherfucker, dumbass. Well, I don't care. I don't care about this thing that I can't stop thinking about. I don't care about it. It's just not important to me at all. Fucking hell. Oh, he was not close. Like, no, he was not close. He really wasn't. I can tell you that. Like, what he was... What he was he was not quite conscious of it, but the moment... Like, you saw it, like, the moment Pomni raised the hypocrisy, right? Like, raised the idea that this is inconsistent. You can see, like, that instinct to protect identity kicks in, right? Like, you can really see it, like, he panics because, like, oh shit, I let something slip that I wasn't supposed to let slip, right? I showed something that I wasn't supposed to show. I failed to perform my identity, and now I have to reassert it, right? Like, and the facial animation is really doing it here as well. You can see, like, that oh fuck, I let something slip, I became vulnerable for a second, I'm not allowed to do that. So there's this moment of flailing, and then we reestablish the mask, right? Like, we put the mask back on. Like, very much, again, so much like Gangle. Gangle has these masks that she's wearing, and fucking Jax does too. You can see it come on, right? That he shuts down. Like, shuts down the expressiveness, shuts down the emotional engagement. And it's like, well, no, I'm a nihilist, I don't care about anything. Mask on.
Yeah, you're right. I don't.
Do you have any actual friends?
Not anymore.
Ragatha, Jesus fucking Christ. That's the other thing, right? Like, Ragatha and Jax are not as different as she would like to think. Like, Ragatha and Jax are not as different as she would like to think.
Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. I wasn't talking about that. That wasn't meant to be. Hey, Kinger! Did you see the fireflies all the way over there?
What was that about?
It's nothing. Who cares?
You care, Jax. You care a lot. You care a lot. You care a lot. You care a lot. You care deeply. But you don't want to because caring hurts.
Doesn't she get on your nerves sometimes?
I mean, she's nice to everyone.
No, she isn't. She was just 4 seconds ago, she was very cruel to Jax. Again, not a question of whether or not he deserves it. Like, he has made his own bed. Ragatha has no reason to be nice to him. But that thing she just said was astonishingly cruel. Like, Jesus.
I don't know. I think she tries way too hard. Like, we're stuck in... Why are you always pretending everything's always fine? Like, if you tell someone they're loved and appreciated every day, it just kind of loses all meaning. It just feels like she's trying to take advantage of you, you know? I don't know.
So what you're saying, Jax, is that, like, Ragatha uses other people for emotional validation in order to sort of cover up for her own insecurities. And that's, like, a kind of a mean thing to do to someone, is, like, when you yourself personally have, like, these problems inside of you, that you take them out on other people by taking advantage of them in some way. Huh. I mean, thank God you don't do that to anyone by bullying them in order to make you... Like, thank God you and her are completely different from each other. Thank goodness. Like, Ragatha's interesting in this scene as well, I think.
Maybe she just doesn't want to hang out with someone who's mean to her all the time.
Right? Because that's completely a completely reasonable thing to say to Jax. And Jax's little thing, like, well, she likes it when I'm mean to her. No, she doesn't, dude. No one... Like... Okay, like... lesbians who like it when older women are mean to them, that's not the same thing. That's a different kind of vibe. And indeed, like, men who like it when older women are mean to them. Different vibe. That's not quite what we mean here.
Likes when I'm mean to her, though.
I didn't think you cared about what other people like.
I just... No, yeah, you're right. I don't.
Do you have any actual friends?
Not anymore.
What a fucking Mean Girls ass thing to say. Is like, if Ragatha knows the context of how Jax lost his friends, and to just kind of go, yeah, not anymore. He used to have some friends, but he doesn't anymore. Ha ha ha. Like, ooh, man. And again, not saying Jax like has earned any niceness from Ragatha particularly. Like, they seem to have a pretty toxic relationship to each other, but... But Ragatha is interesting because, like, Jax is letting the mask slip here. I think she is too. Like, Ragatha is also letting her mask slip for a moment and, like, saying something earnestly quite mean and cruel that's, like, clearly is, like, more reflective of how she really feels about him than that mask of, like, appeasing niceness that she's constantly trying to put on. And again, much like Jax, the moment he gets called out on his hypocrisy, right? Like, the moment someone like hits him with that thing, I thought you didn't care about what people think. Same thing with Ragatha. The moment Jax goes kind of like you can clearly see that Jax is like, that was a fucking evil thing to say to me. Same thing with Ragatha. The mask comes back on, right? We're back to appeasement. We're back to being like, oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean. It's like, we're right back to people pleasing, right? And when she realizes that she can't be people-pleasing to Jax right now, it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna quit this situation and I'm gonna go be people-pleasing over here, right? Like, I'm gonna go be people-pleasing. Hey, Kinger, the fireflies, look at those, hey! Isn't that nice?
Fireflies all the way over there?
What was that about?
It's nothing. Who cares?
Very nice vocal performance from Jax's voice actor here as well. Like, that who cares? Oof.
That about?
It's nothing. Who cares? Doesn't she get on your nerves sometimes?
I mean, she's nice to everyone.
I don't know. I think she tries way too hard. Like, we're stuck in... Why are you always pretending everything's always fine? Like, if you tell someone they're loved and appreciated every day, it just kind of loses all meaning.
I do wonder what their relationship used to be like, though, because I do get the sense of they've known each other long enough that once upon a time it was different.
If you tell someone they're loved and appreciated every day, it just kind of loses all meaning. It just feels like she's trying to take advantage of you, you know? I don't know. Also, she's dumb and she looks weird.
Think we all look weird.
Excuse you. This is what peak male performance looks like. My ears and tail are kind of the pinnacle of masculinity.
Again.
Masculinity.
You don't have a tail?
What are you talking about? Yes, I do. It's what the? Where's my tail? How long have I not had my tail?
I have never seen you with a tail.
When would that have even...
They look happy.
They do, don't they?
You think after this, maybe we could...
Wait a minute! That's a bad thing!
Explain to Daddy Bubble how bad thing.
I think that... Don't say that. I think they're enjoying the suggestion box adventures more than the me adventures. What should I do?
You should die. You should throw a f***ing beach party.
Why do you swear now? Ugh, forget it. Let's go to an intermission.
Speaking of insecurities...
You don't have a tail?
What are you talking about? Yes, I do. It's what the? Where's my tail?
That's a cute little spin animation.
How long have I not had my tail?
I have never seen you with a tail.
When would that have even...
They look happy.
They do, don't they?
You think after this, maybe we could...
What?
Is the moon trying to fuck Caine? Is that... Cause like, dude, you gotta. Caine. I mean, I don't know which way you swing, if you swing anyway, but like, if you have any, you gotta. Like, if you can fuck the moon, you gotta fuck the moon. You can't not. Like, if you have the opportunity, like, a celestial body, you got, like, that's, I'm sorry, if you have any attract, you can't, you have to. Surely, come on.
A minute, that's a bad thing.
Explain to Daddy Bubble how bad thing. Explain to Daddy Bubble how bad this Daddy Bubble.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
How bad thing?
I think that... Don't say that. I think they're enjoying the suggestion box adventures more than the me adventures. What should I do?
You should die. You should throw a beach party.
What should I do?
You should die.
So I wonder about the relationship of Bubble and Caine. Because again, like, the dialogue earlier in the episode implies, like, Caine talks to Bubble, says the Toy Box character thinks we should let the other intelligent AI, right, run for an extended period of time, which begs the question of, like, how independent and intelligent is Bubble relative to Caine? Because, like, at times it feels like Bubble is sort of an alternate expression of Caine's consciousness, right? Like, a sort of externalized literalization of, I guess, not his id?
They're enjoying the suggestion box adventures more than the me adventures.
But it's interesting, like, Caine has this insecurity, right? Of, like, we saw that also, like, in the therapy session with Zubul, right? Like, he doesn't have, like, well, if I'm not good at making these adventures, then my entire purpose in existence collapses. And that's an interesting vulnerability for him to have, right? Like, speaking of, like, people pleasers, Caine is also... There's also a lot of people pleaser in Caine, right? Like, he very desperately wants to tell stories and make adventures that everyone will think are so great. But he's, like, also completely limited in his ability to even form a theory of mind of what other people like or want. Which is like, that self-sabotage, right? Which, like, as a creative person, I kind of understand that, right? Like, that you have these ideas and wants that you used to, like, you've seen all this pop culture. That it feels like certainly what they're driving at with Caine is that Caine has this huge, vast library in his head of all the different kinds of pop culture that exists. Like, oh, Mad Max Fury Road, Candyland, and, like, horror things, and, like really sort of fucking creepypasta SCP bullshit. And he has all of these things in his head, and he jumbles them up, and he tries to put them together, and like, oh yeah, this is the thing they like. Like, he's constantly trying to optimize for the algorithm, as it were. Except, like, the algorithm has no relationship to the actual personhood of the people that he's trying to perform these things for. So he's constantly, like, pitching things for a hypothetical audience instead of the actual audience that is right in front of him.
They're enjoying the suggestion box adventures more than the me adventures. What should I do?
You should die. You should.
Which, again, is, like, where I wonder about, like, Bubble. What should I do about this insecurity I'm feeling?
What should I do?
You should die.
This is like, oh, you should kill yourself, which is like, if you're a creative person and it's like, oh shit, like my creativity is worthless, what should I do? Not an unfamiliar thought.
You should throw a...
I do love the animation on Bubble saying fuck here. Because, like, they're really, like, do it, like, because F is a sound that you form by touching your lower lip to your upper teeth. Right? So they're really emphasizing, like, Bubble's sharp teeth deforming their surface.
Beach party.
Why do you swear now? Ugh, forget it. Let's go to an intermission.
So, is that just a bunch of screenshots from... Yeah, screenshots from the various episodes. But obviously, I have to see all of them.
Intermission time.
I'm sorry, I heard that. I could not. I couldn't not. Oh, we're fucking around. Oh, we're fucking around. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna control myself and watch the whole thing, but we're gonna go back. It's a jam session. That's so fucking cool. This is an animation jam session.
Caine, what are we doing right now?
We're intermissioning.
Why? Hello?
And now back to the show.
Okay, let's just... Yeah, so these are still 3D renderings of the characters. How am I supposed to resist that? So these are still 3D renderings of the characters, just being rendered with like a very flat shaded, much more two-dimensional looking. Oh, that's cool. But yeah, this is an animation jam session, actually. Ah, that's cool. Like, fully with the fucking 70s ass sort of color bar visuals. A mouth eating itself over and over again. Infinite layers of recursion are happening here as well. Like, I wonder to what extent any of this is supposed to be meaningful, because like certainly the aesthetically and in the vibe of this feels like an animation jam session, right? Like this feels like, okay, we have a music track, we're just kind of doing essentially the animation equivalent of freestyle dance. But there is definitely a thing of like Like, there's visual connections you could draw, like the orbs of the eyes, the orb of bubble, and like that consuming of the self that holds the self that holds the self. Like these recursive selves being eaten and incorporated into the self in order to make the whole. There's definitely some, like, psychological identity nonsense you can do about that. I don't know the extent to which that's meaningful, but... Right. So, the two eyes, and then once again Bubble. Like, if these are Caine's eyes, then once again Bubble, which is connected to the tongue also. Again, if I'm interpreting the visual imagery, this does seem to imply that Bubble is very much a part of Caine. And then this imagery of rolling the dice. And the constantly recurring imagery of the eye, right? Like, the eye is very much Caine's icon, right? That he is this pair of floating eyes inside of a consuming mouth. Ah, the rendering here is fucking cool. Again, so many props to the compositors who had to work on this sequence, because that fucking cannot have been fucking easy, motherfucking fuck. Oh, hey, Zubul has a peg leg. Very cool with a little outline stroke. Huh, no Pomni there. And again, it all explodes in eyeballs. Like, quite literally. So Caine at the center of the panopticon, but interestingly, none of the eyes are looking at him. Right? Like, they sort of swivel around, but then they all point away from him, looking outward, but never inward. I don't know if it's meaningful to try and interpret this, but... Again, compositing, right? Look at the glow around the characters. Like, that glow effect that sort of places them. It gives the characters the feeling of, like, that they're being lit up by a really powerful spotlight that's, like, reflecting off of them. But without the quite so stark lighting of that will sort of necessarily follow from that. Here's a fun little cartooning thing. You can see the characters begin to react to the blow before the bowling ball even makes contact, right? And because they do that, that smooths out the transition into the actual thing that's happening. So, bowling balls for Pomni and Jax, cake for Ragatha and Gangle, and then Kinger, like Atlas, holds the world aloft above his head and explodes it into light. No Zubul again. Interesting. Again, I don't know how much I need to interpret any of this, and then he gets taken out by a rook. About to get Pac-Man'd. Picked up like a deck of cards, or a little string of, like, paper cutouts. Series of album covers. Very 90s, this. With, like, the flat lit room and, like, the fisheye lens and the characters posing into the fisheye lens. Not just Jamiroquai. This was like a thing in like the 90s, early 2000s. Like, this was an aesthetic. There's a million rap videos that were shot with this exact kind of lens and like staging setup. I will admit they are serving substantial degrees of cunt. Like they're serving face, they're giving attitude. Kaufmo, gone, NPC. And then this frog character, where Jax stops. And it looks a little bit like he's almost about to reach for the door. Not anymore, huh?
Caine, what are we doing right now?
We're intermissioning!
Why? Why? Hello?
And now back to the show!
Give me a whiskey sour, but hold the egg white, since I'm a vegan. I hate this! How is this even possible? I thought Caine couldn't...
You thought Caine couldn't what? Mess with, I guess, free will? Or change otherwise immutable characteristics about who you are as a person?
Sour, but hold the egg white, since I'm a vegan. What? I hate this! How is this even possible? I thought Caine couldn't...
I could have made it way worse for you.
Well, I'm calling a vote to turn Zubul into a slug.
Everyone voted against that.
Interesting limited color palette that we're working with here. Because, like, we're doing the black and white sort of film noir thing, but we're doing two different kinds of film noir. We're doing, like, old school film noir with, like, these high contrast scenes, like, really playing with shadows with black and white. But then we're also doing, like, neo-noir with all of the fucking neon light and, like, these strong edge lightings to sort of accent and outline the characters. That's interesting to, like, mixing the two forms of film noir.
Hold the egg white, since I'm a vegan. What? I hate this! How is this even possible? I thought Caine couldn't...
I thought Caine couldn't, and then it's like Jax realizes something. There's that little blink of like, wait, if he can do that, then, like, that's what it feels like anyway.
I could have made it way worse for you.
Well, I'm calling a vote to turn Zubul into a slug.
Everyone voted against that.
Who hate it? Woo! It's raining like the Dickens out there.
Hey, guys.
Damn, Ragatha. Okay. She's kind of got that on.
I'll have a cosmopolitan.
Give me a corncob blitz.
I'll throw something together.
You know your way around alcohol, huh?
Yeah, this was one of my suggestions. I worked at a bar briefly. I like making drinks.
That sounds fitting for you.
Does it now, Jax? Again, it's that reaction Jax seems to have reflexively, like, almost involuntarily. Like, Zubul shares something about themselves. I like making drinks, right? Like, this is something I enjoy. This is something I authentically find pleasure and happiness in doing. And Jax immediately... Digital caneberry. Jax immediately has to mock it, right? That sounds fitting for you, which is like, no matter the tone that you say that in, that's denigrating.
That sounds fitting for you.
I know there's an implication there, but I can't be to figure it out.
So, Pomni, you ever have any jobs? Or are you too young for that?
I'm 25 years old. And, yeah, I was an accountant for a supermarket chain.
A supermarket? How'd you end up here?
Well, I sometimes got bored of things, and I would seek out mild thrills, like exploring abandoned buildings.
Oh, we did Urbex, did we? Which also tells us, like, yeah, the office back there is abandoned, but still, I guess, has enough power to keep whatever servers are hosting the shit running.
Buildings, you know, and posting videos of it online.
Ah, a YouTuber.
Not really. Nobody watched them. It was just something I did for me.
Honestly, Pomni, you're kind of, like, probably for the best. Like, I love this job. I love you all. I'm just saying, if I had started this job when I was 25, not entirely kidding when I say it might have killed me in some ways.
I sometimes did that. I wouldn't record it, though. Here's your Cosmo.
Thanks.
Hiding something.
You'd know all about that, wouldn't you? What's your story, then?
I thought you'd never ask. Well, after my lung cancer diagnosis, me and my junkie associate from a chemistry class...
Well, okay, so Jax is, like, current enough to have seen Breaking Bad.
...class I used to teach.
Yeah, I figured. How about you, Gangle?
Hey, I wasn't done.
If you're gonna make shit up, at least be creative about it. I know what you're referencing.
Was that a reference to something?
I worked in fast food.
You've done more than that. What about your art?
I was in community college for graphic design, but
Okay, interesting. So I was curious about how they are handling the relationship between... Is there a better angle on that? Not really. I want to see the volume relationship between Gangle's ribbons and the dress that she's wearing. Because it does look like, at least in the bits that we can see here, I'm zooming in on the cleavage that doesn't exist, it does look like they are actually doing the thing where they're building out Gangle's interior by scaffolding the dress against her ribbons, except over the shoulder, where there doesn't seem to be ribbons holding up this ship. Okay, that's interesting.
for graphic design, but I dropped out. I didn't really pursue art much after that.
Hey, I'm always down to make art together if you want.
Oh, I didn't know you were an artist too, Zubal.
Yeah, I was a tattoo artist for a couple years.
Fuck, Supal is just so fucking cool.
A bartender and a tattoo artist? You're killing me here, Zuby.
Jax, that's the coolest shit I've ever fucking heard. I want to hang out with Zubal so bad. That sounds so fucking cool, Jax. Which might be why he has to mock it, because, like, again, Zubal is being like, yeah, no, I have hobbies, I had pursuits, I had a life, I had 2 careers. I don't think Jax had much going on in his life back outside of the digital circus.
What do you mean when you say that? Do you have, like, an actual point, or are you just talking?
I'm just having fun.
No, you're not.
I forgot you hate fun.
That's not what it is.
Fun isn't the thing I hate.
I guess I'll go now. Oh, geez, where to start? I was born into a fairly wealthy family. We had a large property with horses and chickens, and my mother,
You want to finish that thought? Yeah, no, didn't think so. Like, just the change in her face. My mother, 1,000 yards there. Like, literally the pupils, like, shrink. And you get this fucking war flashback ass. Jesus Christ.
Well, my mother was a lot. I worked in real estate for a bit until I ended up here. I'm sure she doesn't miss me. I certainly don't miss the yelling, and the braiding, and guilt tripping, and the... Yeah, just...
Again, like, very much the same reaction as Jax. Like, she lets the mask slip for a second. She shows actual vulnerability, and then realizes, oh shit, people can see me showing actual vulnerability, and it's like, oh, I've done something wrong. I'm sorry. I have shared something that made other people uncomfortable. I shouldn't have done that. This is my fault. Everything's fine. Everything's completely fine. I'm just drinking alcohol because everything's completely fine. I just swallowed an entire Cosmopolitan because everything's fine. Don't worry about it. And it's so... There's something so tragic about it, right? Because certainly Gangle, Pomni, and Zubul, and Kinger, if Ragatha was actually vulnerable and open, right? They would listen. Jax, maybe not so much, but they would. And you could get some validation for your feelings, right? But there is that thing with Ragatha of like, well, I can never be someone else's problem, right? Like I can never, like that's very much what it feels like anyway, right? This thing of like, I was a burden. I've been a burden my entire life. I've always been a burden on my mother. Like, I've always been a problem that needs to be managed. I've spent my entire life trying to, like, make myself as small as possible and please her as much as possible so that she wouldn't yell at me and berate me. And, like, yeah, no. And like, yeah, like I said, like Ragatha and Jax similar in a lot of regards, in the way that Ragatha really isn't as nice as she thinks she is. And that's not uncommon, like, when you've been subject to parental neglect or abuse. It's like, it's not because Ragatha ever wants to be mean, right? Like, I think in the moment that when she realized she had said something really fucking mean to Jax, when she tried to walk it back, that was like she genuinely felt guilty about it. But it's that thing of like, you can be very cruel without meaning to be.
Yeah, just kind of a farm girl. Nothing too out of the ordinary.
And no point in asking Kinger, because there's no way he remembers anything.
Never better.
Do you guys know about his wife?
Huh?
My what? Oh.
You can see it
nothing
again
too
with
out of the
Jax,
ordinary.
right? Everyone else has shared something. And there's that, like, you can see that he wants to, right? You can see that thing of like, God, why don't I get to be vulnerable? Like, why don't I get, like... And then, well, we can't let the mask slip, so let's put it on extra tight by deflecting to someone else.
No way he remembers anything.
Never better.
Do you guys know about his wife?
Huh?
My what? Oh.
Oh, fun little detail. There's like a chunk missing out of his hat.
What?
That's disappearing guy. That's just what he does.
I see. From a previous adventure?
Yeah, God, Pomni, you didn't know that?
I'm ignoring you.
By the way, Pomni, sorry about the whole president thing. I just thought it'd be funny.
Are you apologizing? What's happening?
Just ignore him.
Apology accepted, I guess.
Wow, the first steps of a budding friendship, right, Ragatha?
Hey, Pomni, remember when Kaufmo smashed me against the walls and I got all jumbled up? All things considered, that was pretty funny, right?
No, not really.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. That was probably pretty traumatic for you.
It was traumatic for you, Ragatha! was traumatic for you! For fuck's sake, that's why you're bringing it up. Like, it was traumatic for Pomni, sure. It was terrifying, but like, girl, you nearly died!
Oh, remember when you got high at McDonald's and told Gangle to kill herself? Now that was funny.
What? I did not say that. I think. No, of course I didn't. And I am still so sorry about that, Gangle. I would never have said anything like that if I didn't get that stupid sauce in my eye.
Jeez, Raggy, just let yourself be mean sometimes. It's funny.
Yeah, constantly tormenting Gangle's really funny, Jax.
You guys all take this place way too seriously. What is this? Why'd you do that? Can you get that thing away from me?
Are you afraid of corn?
No. Who's afraid of corn?
On board! Let's go to the next adventure!
What?
I gotta say, Sublin, that... Like, the things that, like, apron adds to their shape language is like... Sorry, anyway, what were we talking about? I wasn't saying anything, shut up!
No. Who's afraid of corn?
On board! Let's go to the next adventure!
And Caine shows up like fucking... Caine shows up moving like a fucking Muppet here. Like, like just flailing around. And again, it's that change in animation aesthetic to fit the vibe of the situation, right? Because again, if we examine... Like, during these dialogue scenes, right? Like, look at the way the characters are animated relative to how they are often usually animated.
I'm sure she doesn't miss me. I certainly don't.
Like, check in closely on Ragatha here, right? As she's remembering her mother and processing a lot of guilt. How much work is happening with the shoulders, with the collarbones, like this is full animation, right? Like, this is taking advantage of every part of the character. And like, even zoomed in like this, right? Like, even zoomed in on something that's so close up that you can't see most of what's happening. Oh, fuck. God damn it. I hit the wrong hotkey. It took me all the way to the complete end of the episode. There we go. She's got that thing on, though. Jesus.
Was
Okay, let's try that again.
go now. Oh, geez, where to start? I was born into a fairly wealthy family. We had a large property with horses and chickens, and my mother, well, my mother was a lot. I worked in real estate for a bit until I ended up here.
Like, there's so much acting in her shoulders,
Sure,
right?
she doesn't miss me. I certainly don't.
Like, you can see the change, the ebb and flow in her energy and the way that she's feeling, like, just from the way that the shoulders, collarbone, the way the breathing cycle contracts and expands.
Miss the yelling, and the braiding, and guilt tripping, and the...
Like, full animation. This is such a full character animation. And again, Jax, like, it's another thing of, like, Zubul challenges Jax, right? Like, dude, you're making these implications, right? You're laughing at it. Oh, you're killing me here. That's so funny. Okay, what do you mean, dog? Say it out loud. Say it with your words. Say the thing that you mean when you imply these things. And that's a very good thing against dipshits like Jax, because they can't. Right? They can't. Like, that, because saying it out loud means you have to actually confront the thing that you're expressing. And you don't want to do that. because that's where the vulnerability is, which is why Jax immediately...
An actual point, or are you just talking?
I'm just having fun.
Right? I'm just joking. I'm just having fun. It doesn't mean anything. Nothing means anything. I never mean anything. I'm never expressing anything. Like, nothing means anything at all. You're taking this all too seriously, right? When you're dealing with a dipshit like Jax, if you want to engage with them, and oftentimes it's not, like, if someone like this gets after you on social media, just don't. It's not worth it 99.9% of the time. But if it's someone in your actual, like, social circle and someone who has this habit of doing that, if you keep pushing them, say what you actually fucking mean, dude. Right? Like, say, like, no, use your words. Explain the joke to me. Explain why the joke is funny. Explain what's funny about it. At that point, they're going to start to crumble really fucking quick. Either they're going to retreat into even more, like, standoffish, mean-spirited sarcasm, at which point you can, yeah, well, I mean, depending on the situation, maybe kick their ass. Or else, like, that's the sign of, like, well, okay, if you're going to be like that, then you can't be here. Like, I don't want to be around you. I don't want to have conversations with you if you can't speak to me. Like, if you can't talk to me, if you can't tell me what you mean, then you can't be here. Like, it's a good entry point to enforcing a consequence, right? Of, like, either say what you mean, say it with your chest, like, be honest about your feelings or your opinions, or else go away, right? And then you can start, like, to build some actual, you know, again, a lot of the time not worth it, but if you want to engage with someone who's like this, pushing through to get them to actually say the thing out loud, because oftentimes also, like, we talked about it previously, a lot of men end up in this kind of attitude, not really out of any intentional desire to be this way, but out of just the total lack of options. Like, we often get raised specifically so that we won't know any other way of being. And when you push someone like that and you confront them and say, like, no, say what you mean, and you don't let them just move on, you don't let them just change the subject, you say, like, say what you mean, explain this with words, explain the joke to me. Explain why it is funny. That's also a way that, like, guys like this can begin to learn to go, oh shit, that's actually really shitty, right? Like, that's a way that if a person has good intentions at heart, like, if they are not too irony poisoned and too far gone, that's also a way that you can learn to kind of go, shit, what do I mean by that, actually? Because so much of this is reflexes. Like, it certainly seems to be with Jax. Like, Jax's response to sincerity is mockery, and it doesn't seem to be something he actually considers. I don't think he knows why he thinks that's funny. That's why he's not giving an answer. It's just his response to sincerity is reflexively, aha, that's funny and stupid and silly and dumb and I don't have feelings. But he doesn't know that. Like, I don't think he has examined it. I really don't think that he has examined it, right? And if a person is in a place where they can be pushed away from that, moved away from that, forcing them to confront what they're actually saying when they say things it's a way to do it. Please, for the love of God, don't take any of this as, like, life advice for how to pull someone out of a alt-right pipeline or whatever, because that's I'm just speaking from memory of having partly been this guy and having known this guy. That so much of this kind of personality also gets built on never being challenged. Right, like on like that specific male privilege where you can kind of say whatever the fuck you want and no one ever really pushes you on it because your boys are not going to push you on it, and everyone else around, like, has good reasons to not want to push a man, right? Which is, again, that's our responsibility as men, by the way. Like, if you have, like, if you have, like, a nephew or a cousin or a friend or a brother, like, who's doing that, like, boys, it's on us. Like, we have to be the ones to do the pushing. Like, hey, dude, explain that joke. Like, say what you actually mean, dude. Like, because that works a million times better. Which, you know, sucks, but it is our job to take care of the boys, you know? Men should have solidarity with each other, including the solidarity it takes to, like, say, hey, dude, you're being shitty right now. Like, you're being shitty. You're making this a shitty hang. Don't do that. A lot of men need to fucking hear that. They really need to. And and I mean, for their own fucking sake, they need to hear that. Because the fact that you never hear it, unless you're being annoying to another dude, if you're just being annoying to women, if you're just being annoying to anyone who's not a man, you don't get pushback from men on that, that's how you hit the slide, right? Like that's how you know.
I forgot you hate fun.
Fun isn't the thing I hate.
I guess I'll go now.
Anyway, we're going off in
Me.
some entirely tangential directions.
Ignoring you.
Say that.
I really do want to emphasize that there's so much good fucking ass acting and character animation. Literally doing the isn't that like the Kathy thing? There's so much good character animation happening and acting happening in these shots.
Let's go to the next adventure.
What? You're not even a part of...
Oh, okay.
It's softball, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, we're doing this now?
Beautiful night for a game, right, Bubble? We've got the Big Tops playing against the evil Big Tops.
Sup, I'm Evil Pomni.
Oh, okay, so that's where that comes from. No, yeah, no, yeah, I know. Yeah, I've seen it. Yep. Yeah, no, like that, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I get it. Yeah, that's why. Okay, all right.
I'm Evil Ragatha.
She's a fucking Ojo-sama?
Evil Pomni. I'm Evil Ragatha.
Coach Dictator here.
Hi, guys. I'm Evil Jax.
Evil Orbsman reporting for duty.
I'm Bazool.
That wasn't in my suggestion.
Why don't I get an evil clone?
But first, let's welcome our special guest, here to sing the American...
Also, oh, there's some Jax Evil Jax shippers out there now.
Guys, I'm Evil Jax.
Evil Orbsman reporting for duty.
Orbsman still has that animation aesthetic, right? Like where he's like literally, you can see him like mechanically swapping between idle cycles.
I'm Bazool.
That wasn't in my suggestion.
Why don't I get an evil clone?
But first, let's welcome our special guest. Here to sing the American National Anthem.
Oh, I get it. It's...
Oh, say.
That's good. Better than hearing that whole fucking thing anyway.
All right, team. I may not know what's going on, or who is going on, or when is going on, or why is going on, but I do know where is going on. And it's out on that field, so let's go break some tailbones, team.
Hey, guys. I hope we all have a fun game, no matter who ends up winning. I want to kill that guy.
Yeah, that's not what you want to do to that guy. Sorry, what? I didn't say anything.
Hello, stupid Gatha. I hope you're ready to get completely annihilated. Nobody loves you and you're going to die someday.
We can't exactly die. It's like the whole thing here.
What the flick?
Check this out. You're out, dumb.
Damn it.
Ha! Get owned!
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ah, she's cool. Wait, what's that?
Pomni, why'd you say no to that? Okay, right. Oh, this episode... I'm trying to fathom the amounts of fan art that this episode must have spawned. Oh no, he's even got the knee-high... Oh, Jesus, okay. Anyway, here, hey, look, some logos. There's some logos in the background. Let's look at those. Cascor. Kaufmo Tire. That straight up just looks like Pepsi. I bet it's Bubble. I bet it's Bubble on that fucking Pepsi logo.
What the heck? Who did this? You!
Yeah! Hell yeah, Gangle.
Did this!
Get his ass!
You! Jax, you're up to bat. I can't, don't wanna, why?
Oh, it even fucking comes with the makeup. Girl, look yourself in the mirror. You can fucking rock that. Don't be scared. Explore this. Ah, lovely doubling.
Why, look, why this though?
Seems fitting for you, though. I figured you'd be into this.
What does that mean?
Yeah. What does that mean, Jax? Maybe you should think about that.
What's that supposed to mean?
I'm just having fun. I forgot you hate fun.
I don't want to wear this.
I have never seen you this upset about something.
Jax! Bat! I'm gonna kill you when this is over.
Let's see what you're made of.
Shut up!
Don't worry. I think you look good.
I don't want to hear that. I want you dead! Well, guess there's no more ball. We're done.
Wait, I got this.
Oh no, Kinger, no!
What? Hey!
Sorry, Zubul. It's just the perfect regulation softball size.
Okay, that's
We're
still not
playing
better.
Baseball here.
I'm not doing this anymore.
Wait, Jax! What about where is going on?
Can't believe I hit it right to her. I'm supposed to be better than that.
Are you?
Sorry. I should be a better sport.
Not to, like, agree with Jax or anything, but there's nothing wrong with showing your negative emotions. That's pretty normal.
I don't know. I don't want to be a jerk or anything.
I think we all need to be a jerk sometimes.
Maybe. Who knows?
Caine, we need a ball here.
Oh,
Jax, we have a ball now. What are you doing?
See ya.
There's definitely some fucking gender going on with Jax there. I don't know exactly what kind, but... there's some really fun stuff happening with Jax's eyes as well. Like, they swapped them out because of the makeup. They seem to handle the expressiveness of his face. Yeah. Yeah, like the makeup changes the shape of his eyes a little bit. But it also feels like there's a different way that they're handling his expressions and the way that his eyes move. I do like this. Like, getting up to get Gangle, raise the skirt for mobility. That's lovely.
You're up to bat.
I can't, don't wanna, why, look, why this though?
Yeah, there's definitely something, like, his eyes are moving
It's fitting
differently.
For you, though. I figured you'd be into this.
What does that mean? What's that supposed to mean?
I'm just having fun. I forgot you hate fun.
I don't want to wear this!
I have never seen you this upset about something.
Jax! Bat!
I'm gonna kill you when this is over.
Let's see what you're made of.
Shut up!
Don't worry, I think you look good.
I don't want to hear
There's some gender going on here.
that. I want you.
Like, not necessarily in the sense that Jax is necessarily trans femme, but there's definitely some kind of gender going on here.
You dead!
And Jax's animation has also definitely changed somewhat in the costume. Like, less rubber hose is going on, I think. I don't know how much exactly. That's hard to
no more ball.
quantify.
We're done.
Wait, I got this.
Hey!
Sorry, Zubul. It's just the perfect regulation softball size. We're not playing baseball here.
Evil Zubul is fun.
I'm not doing this anymore.
Wait, Jax! What? Jax! What about where is going on?
Oh, hang on. Was that a... Oh, yeah. Look. His eyeball clips through the cap a little bit.
Going on?
Can't believe I hit it right to her. I'm supposed to be better than that.
Hey, Ragatha, remember how you said that you don't really miss all the berating that your mom used to do of you? That you don't really miss the way that she kept berating you all the time? You don't miss that because that was unpleasant and really mean and like, made you unhappy? Yeah, it's funny how you seem to be doing it to yourself in the absence of your mother being there to do it for you. It's funny how you're sort of continuing that same pattern. Maybe that's a bad idea.
Sorry. I should be a better sport.
Not to, like, agree with Jax or anything, but there's nothing wrong with showing your negative emotions. That's pretty normal.
I don't know. I don't want to be a jerk or anything.
And that's true. Like, Ragatha does not want to be a jerk to anyone ever. Nonetheless, she has been a couple of times.
I think we all need to be a jerk sometimes.
Maybe. Who knows?
This is like... swear to God, like...
Kane, we need a ball here.
Yeah, Hero, thank you. Not a joke for me to make, I feel, but... Ooh, cool smears on Caine. For that shake animation.
Oh,
Jax, we have a ball now. What are you doing?
See ya. Whoops, I missed. Oh darn, I'm out.
Having fun?
Oh, you know it. Oh look, Gangle's up to bat. How do you think this is gonna go?
Would you stop trying to force her to act like you?
Oh yeah, I should force her to be happy all the time instead, right?
Well, it's better than turning her into some insensitive jerk.
What about Gangle just gets to do what she wants, though, with herself?
Who deflects everything.
I can think for myself, guys.
Hey, I ain't forcing anything on you.
And then you just act like you never do anything wrong and everybody loves you, when in reality you just fuck everything up for everyone else!
Okay, let's, calm down a bit.
What? You're the one who said it's fine to be a jerk sometimes! Ugh. I'm sorry, Pomni. That wasn't very cool of me.
It's fine.
No apologies for me? This is so sad.
I'm sorry, Jax. For bringing up that thing earlier.
Very good little eye animation there.
So, you wanna talk about that?
I'm in a maid outfit. What do you think?
Oh, that's very good. Cat boy. That's really nice. Like the formations to sort of imitate. That's very good. Also, just the snap, right? Like that instant snap from relaxed to.
So, how's the game going?
Great! Gangle hit a home run!
Really?
Yeah, your instructions helped me a lot.
Huh.
Can you give me my eye back? Joke's on you. I've already forgotten what you're talking about.
Wowee! Another home run!
God damn it!
What? Okay.
Nice going, Zubul! All right, Pomni, you're up.
Hey, Ragatha. You wanna bat for me instead?
I guess I could. If you really don't want to.
Think of it as a second chance to show him who's boss.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice angle.
Bazowie Zoo-Weewa! Another home run! And that makes 3 home runs in a row! The Big Tops win!
That's not how softball works.
Well, that's how my softball works. We're done. Hooray!
Man, we didn't even get to bat.
You did it, Ragatha! We won!
I mean, I guess.
Good job. Whatever you did.
Huh? Oh yeah, good job, team.
Huh? Oh, cool. I'm not a vegan anymore.
Oh, hey! Wait, what are you...
What is going on?
Huh? Oh, cool. I'm not a vegan anymore.
The way the eyes expand immediately.
Oh, cool. I'm not a vegan anymore.
And we're back to rubber hose. Yeah.
Oh, hey! Wait, what are you...
Fully on some Rayman shit with the expressions here. And specifically doing the... You know that meme of, like, the little scrungly character, like, going... like, and shaking something violently in their mouth? That's basically the thing. It's like me when I love something to death, right? Like, it's that. Oh, there's some cool... What the fuck happens to his head there? Like, so you notice the thing that they're doing, they're stabilizing parts of Evil Jax's body, right? Specifically, they're stabilizing the head so that it doesn't move too much, and they just kind of deform Evil Jax's body into the shake here, and like basically just let him clip through himself really substantially. But because they're stabilizing it a little bit, like that allows a little bit more space for, even through the motion blur, for the expression to be readable, and it makes the shaking action kind of more funny.
What is going on?
Well, I hope we all learned that suggestion box ideas are actually not fun at all, and Kane's ideas are much better.
Well, some of them were pretty okay.
I kind of liked the low stakes ones.
I thought the first two were awesome. The rest, eh. Oh yeah, Pomni. I can show you that thing in the hall I was talking about.
Oh yeah, sure.
That figure again, huh? Ooh, the NPCs. Conscious of something or other. You know, honestly, given the sheer amount of fan art that came across my fucking Blue Sky timeline, I expected Evil Pomni to have more of a role. I expected Evil Pomni to have something to do rather than just be there.
Man, we didn't even get to bat.
You did it, Ragatha! We won!
I mean, I guess.
Good job. Whatever you did.
Huh? Oh yeah, good job, team.
Huh?
Again, a nice little subtle bit of acting there that Ragatha notices that Pomni finds that bit funny.
Well, I hope we all learned that suggestion box ideas are actually not fun at all, and Kane's ideas are much better.
Well, some of them were pretty okay.
I kind of liked the low stakes ones.
I thought the first two were awesome. The rest, eh. Oh yeah, Pomni. I can show you that thing in the hall I was talking about.
Oh yeah, sure.
Little decision moment there for Ragatha, right? My. So we're setting up, like, mystery thing. Which is, like, that this NPC seems to be acting out of some kind of personal volition, which I guess... Like, the setup... We've already had that set up with Caine, right? Like, oh, we can't have the other intelligent AIs going around, right? Like, oh, we can't leave them running because of some reason, right? And Caine doing these things of, like, if I lose track of who's a human and who's an NPC, who knows what could happen, right? It's... So my guess would be that this is setting up some level of consciousness among the NPCs that's not supposed to happen. But who knows? Right, no, yes, I mean, it would have been a deep failure of the merchandising department if they hadn't, immediately. Yeah. Bembo Davis, that's such a fucking cool name. God, I really should. I really should, like, I have the same feeling, like, I have this half-formed idea in my head. I want to talk to some of the people who work on these YouTube independent animation shows, like Hello Boss, like Digital Circus. I want to talk to some of the people who aren't like the directors, who aren't like the animators, who aren't like the voice actors. I want to talk to riggers. I want to talk to compositors. Like, I want to talk to people who do scene assembly. I want to know about the bits. I want to know about the bits that are invisible. Right? Like, that I don't know enough about to really spot out. I would love to know about the compositing process on that little jam session, the intermission. Oh, Gooseworks does the color grading. Interesting. Oh yeah, so they had a fully outsourced studio handling like the anime portion. Yeah. Anime Jackson made Jax in the same episode. The fandom must have been exploding after this one came out. Like, Jesus. Like, people must have been going fucking feral. Holy shit. Because I saw all the evil Pomni fan art. I did not know about the maid dress, though. I wonder if they could, like, do they sell... I need to check this now. Sorry, hang on. I just need, hang on. Because, like, you would think that they would have, this would have to be some of the first, right? But the question is, like, whether that's even something you theoretically have the rights to. Doesn't look like it. I would kind of... See, here's the thing. I would probably buy as merchandise from the Amazing Digital Circus the teapot. Like plushies and stuff, that isn't, like, not necessarily, but if they sold, like, the teapot, that would... that would get me. Oh, look, the stargazing scene again. Now it's canon. You are the only person who thinks that the teapot is relevant to this show, my dude. I think I quite strongly disagree with that, actually. I think I disagree with that. Let's see if we can find... I think I disagree with that. Like, it's a 3D... It's a 3D animation gimmick, right? Like, it's a thing of, like, this is the first 3D model that was... A complex 3D model that was ever rendered. It's like, it has a place in animation history. But, like, the show is pretty consistent about constantly including it as a signifier, right? It's like... It's not just an Easter egg. Like, it's present in the show's visual world building in a way that feels a little bit more than just... It's not a blink and you'll miss it hidden in the background kind of Easter egg. It's there. And, like, it's implied to be sort of part of the fact, because the show itself is commenting in part, and we talked about this back in episode 1, the show itself is commenting in part on, like, and drawing inspiration from, like, the beginnings of 3D animation technology, right? And drawing on, like, rubber hose animation and these different styles, and So, like, I don't think the teapot is just incidental. Like, I think the teapot is a part of the show's iconography. I think the teapot is a part of the show's visual expression. Like I think it is, like, this is an aesthetic marker of the show and how it approaches how its relationship is to 3D animation. Like, not in the sense that it's an iconic character from the thing, but, like, I would say at least as much as... We got an outside shot of the circus, right? During the night gazing scene. Yeah. Like, at least as much as, like, the trees in the background. Like, the way that these trees are rendered, right? With these, like, flat overlapping sort of layers of leaf structure over top of each other. This is very much a part of the show's visual expression, right? Like, it's part of how the show aesthetically handles rendering things like this in the digital circus world. Like, I'd say the teapot is on that level, right? Like, it's on that level as being, like, a part of the aesthetic expression of the show. Not in the sense that the teapot is a character, but, like, there's something about the teapot that's, like, built into the way the show expresses itself three-dimensionally. So, like, a teapot with, like, a little engraving of, like, Kane's logo, like, his little logo face on that, I think, like, for when the show itself is clearly so joyous in referencing animation history, I think you can make an argument for that as a piece of merch, right? In the same, like, in the same way that Paxamaxolotl says, like, the Pixar ball, right? Or the Pizza Planet van, right? Like, these things that are, like, it's not like the Pizza Planet van is ever a character in any of the Pixar films or ever really particularly important. It's an incidental background detail, but it's still, like, strongly associated with that movie studio specific output. Or THX, what is it? THX 3811, something like that. Like, that specific little logo mark that George Lucas puts in all of his movies. Like, it's on the level of that, right? Where it's something that it's a stealth reference kind of thing. Like, where I don't know that I necessarily want, like, a plushie of any of the characters in my home. Like, but a little teapot that is the teapot, but which has, like, a little subtle engraving of Kane on it. That's the kind of thing that's like, okay, yeah, because I can put that out on my dinner table and that could just sort of be a thing, like, without being obtrusive, right? So, like, that's the kind of thing I would fall for. But, like, I disagree with the assessment that the teapot is not relevant to the show. Like, not a lot relevant, but it's, like, it has, like, a connection with how the show expresses itself. It is used as iconography. Not in a deep way, but just in a way, right? This episode goes some fucking places, too, I will say.
Run, eh?
Oh, Zooble, you mismatched cash piano, I'll tear you to pieces! Constructive criticism would be greatly appreciated.
But never acknowledged.
That's it! Everybody
It's also the first time that we really see Caine lose his temper.
Looks like this one was a home run, eh?
Oh, Zooble, you mismatched cash piano, I'll tear you to pieces! Constructive...
It's interesting to see Caine lose his temper finally, right? Because we've seen him sort of lose his marbles, right? Like, we've seen him snap out of, like, who knows what would happen, like, snap into, like, staring 1,000 miles into the distance and clearly being scared of something or worried about something. It's interesting. Like, it's interesting to finally see him to lose his temper, right? Like, and actually be genuinely angry and upset by Zooble's criticism, but also, despite being an all-powerful god in this realm...
Well, you mismatched cash piano, I'll tear you to pieces!
There's that ambiguity of, like, okay, did Caine stop because he doesn't want to actually act out his anger? Or does he stop because his programming does not allow him to actually harm humans?
You mismatched cash piano, I'll tear you to pieces! Constructive criticism would be greatly appreciated.
But never acknowledged.
That's it! Everybody besides Zooble, get over here!
Like, that's interesting. Like, we get a little bit of a sense of, like, Caine, for the most part, is sort of a mad jester god, right? Like, who's sort of like, on the one hand, pathetically eager to please, on the other hand, completely solipsistic and incapable of forming a theory of mind. And like here we get to see him like we've already seen him be vulnerable, right? Like we've already seen him express that thing of like, if I am not good at making adventures, then I am nothing, right? Like then my function, my purpose is void and invalid, and I might as well not exist kind of vibe, right? We already see him express that vulnerability. This episode emphasizes it even more, like really sort of drives home that this is like, it's not just a funny haha joke, like look at silly random man jumping between emotional affects.
Maybe we could.
Wait a minute, that's a bad thing!
Explain to Daddy Bubble how bad thing.
I think that... Don't say that. I think they're enjoying the suggestion box adventures more than the me adventures! What should I do?
You should die.
Like, we sort of get, like, we're getting a hint of, like, whatever emotional complexity Caine has, it seems to sort of rest in that, right? Then we get that hint of, like, oh shit, like, Caine is actually worried about what might happen if he doesn't terminate the NPCs and the other AIs as soon as they're done fulfilling their purpose, right? Like, they have to be destroyed. Otherwise what? Something disgusting, I guess. Like, the idea of letting them run for a prolonged period of time is like, that's stupid. I would never do that. Because of what? Because of what consequences are you worried about there?
Miss Bubble, the Toy Box character wants us to leave the other intelligent AIs to run for a prolonged period of time.
Disgusting.
Am I not supposed to be hearing you?
Zippy!
Like, that's interesting, right? Like, that Caine is revealing a little bit of whatever vulnerability and complexity that he has, but also... yeah, like, all the characters get to dive a lot more into their neuroses in this episode, especially Jax, right? Like, Jax, in the first few episodes, we really don't get to... like, there is that moment at the funeral, before the funeral, where Jax has that expression of, like, oh, I'm going to disengage from that, because clearly that affects him in some way that he needs to get away from. He can't be at the funerals. Like, that's the thing about Jax. Like, he cannot... the one thing he cannot go and snark at is the funeral, right? Like, normally you would expect Jax, being an asshole who doesn't take anything seriously, he'd be at the funeral and he would just say stupid shit, right? Say, yeah, no, like, it's my best friend in the whole world, and he was dumb as a bag of rocks. Like, that would be what you would expect from Jax, except he doesn't go to the funeral because he doesn't want to be there. Like, whatever is there is not fun for him, right? That's the first sort of sick sign of, like, oh, okay, like, there are some things that this guy cannot just dissociate from. And then here in this episode, we really sort of get to dive into that he wants to connect with people, right? Like, it's so fucking evident in Jax that he wants to connect with people. Like, I think he would do very poorly alone. I think the only thing that's holding this little bunny rabbit together is the fact that there are still other people around with him. Absent that, I think he would abstract almost immediately if he was actually alone. And, like, in these moments, like, he's like, oh, this is stupid, we're just laying here stargazing, that's dumb. But also, part of the reason why he doesn't like this adventure very much seems to be that being in this space, this calm, relaxed, peaceful space, just can't help but get him to open up a little bit, huh? And we don't like that because, well, yeah. We also get a lot more insight into Ragatha, right? I'm still kind of floored by...
Friends?
Not anymore.
like, that is, like, fucking hell, Ragatha. Like, it doesn't matter how Jax lost his friends. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how he lost them. But you just, like, don't you have any actual friends to stand there and be like, oh, not anymore? There is no tone of voice you can take where that's not like, damn, girl. Jesus. Like, that's not striking at someone's heart pretty strongly. And she doesn't know that. Like, she doesn't realize that what she said was insensitive until... But then once there is a conflict, Ragatha can't take it, right? Like, she cannot have an actual conflict with Jax. She can just kind of snidely... Right? Or berate him about something. That's the other thing. Again, like, Ragatha talked about how she hated being berated by her mother. She also spends a lot of time berating Jax, right? And again, not in the sense that Jax doesn't deserve it, just you observe the pattern, right? Like, Jax does things that he deserves to get yelled at about. 100%. And when Ragatha is unkind to him, it's like, yeah, Jax, like... She doesn't like you very much, and there are good reasons for that, dude. But Ragatha is a fucking hypocrite about it, right? Which is her issue. Interestingly, we didn't get that much insight into Pomni, right? Like, we got... She's 25. She used to do, like, marketing for a supermarket firm. She does urban exploring, right? Like, just to sort of fill her time, and she has that as, like, a little creative side project. Puts them on YouTube, but, like, no one gets views, and that's not really why she does it. Like, a little bit, we get... Yeah, accounting for a supermarket firm. Like, she was an accountant. We get a little bit... But relative to the other characters, we don't get much insight into her emotionally. In the same way that we do with, like, Ragatha and her neuroses. Pomni is more just like, she's just kind of regular and ordinary. And that seems to kind of be the point, right? Like, that Pomni is the straight man in the situation. Like, that she is the normal person who still has a normal perspective, right? Like, someone who's still recent enough as an arrival from the real world that she hasn't fully succumbed to, like, the madness of the circus, right? Like, she hasn't fully lapsed into the coping mechanisms that everyone else has. And she's the one, like, she's also the one who's most trying to have normal relationships with people, right? Like everyone else in the circus, they already have their interpersonal dynamics. Like, Ragatha and Jax yell at each other all the time. Jax sort of abuses Gangle. Ragatha sort of, like, tries to be nice, but also can't help but end up being a little bit, like, overbearing with Gangle. Zubul is, like, trying very hard to like, be regular, but also definitely has this, like this disaffected attitude, and seems to be, like, also feeling a lot of personal alienation from their body, right? Like, there was this theme of, like, there isn't a body that fits me, right? And I can't find the pieces that make me feel like me. So there's this alienation from the self there, which I feel like is also kind of a theme here. Like, we talked in early episodes that, like, there's a lot of imagery with Pomni and the relationship that she has to her body in the digital circus, that this is not her body, really. And there was, like, some instances of, like, deep dissociation that were being shown. That sort of fell away after a couple of episodes. We haven't really seen that come back. Pomni seems to have kind of settled into herself, interestingly. But there definitely seems to be, like, a sub-thing in the character design style of the show about, like, with the designs of the various characters seem to relate to their relationships with their bodies in various ways. It's definitely there with Ragatha, like, being a soft little ragdoll, right? Pliable and like, soft and gentle and like pleasant, soft to be around. And, like, Jax as this cartoony rubber hose character, sort of connected with, like, well, the world is silly, the world runs on nonsense logic, right? Like, the world runs on everything just has to be funny, right? Like, comedy logic, which sort of also seems to inform the way that he relates to other people. Like I don't know how to be except to make everything into a joke, right? Like everything into a comedy routine. There seems to be something to that. I don't know that I have a full thesis on it, though. That would have to be like a video essay if I wanted to really explore that level of the character design. And I wouldn't want to do that until the show is actually over. Or at least the first season of it. I don't know how long this is going to run. I would want to see where it's going fully before I actually try and do a essay of any kind about it. Jax and Ragatha kind of both make each other worse. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's that thing of like they are similar, but opposite polarities, right? And so like it's that thing of like they rile each other up, they roll each other further, right? Like because Ragatha is all too happy to tell Jax that he's an asshole and he's a jerk and he's a jackass, which reinforces Jax's whatever negative self-feelings Jax has. It forces him into a defensive position, right? Like, and his only defense mechanism is to be more of a jerk. And like it forces him to protect his ego all the time, right? Like it's like, oh, she's calling me a jerk. Well, that's funny. I'm not affected by that. That doesn't upset me. I won't self-reflect about that because it's funny when other people get upset by the things that I do, right? That's funny. That's a joke. And Ragatha, like, Jax is constantly pushing her buttons and pushing her into like the most like her mother, right? Like he's the one who's constantly causing her to be like berating and overbearing and controlling and like constantly sort of managing him and managing his emotions in this kind of, it sounds like a similar way to her mother super managing her, right? Like there's a lot there. There's a lot of interpersonal dynamics, and I think part of the point of Pomni is that she isn't part of that. Pomni doesn't have all of these... Like, Kinger is completely dissociated from reality, right? Like he's just not present in the world. Pomni is the one who's most grounded, who's most present, who has the most sort of normal relationship to herself and her feelings, and therefore is most capable of like being I guess kind of a safe space for the others. Like Pomni seems to be like someone with whom the others maybe not gangle yet, but like we saw that in the episode, the fast food episode, right? Like that Pomni was the one who sort of spotted that Gangle kind of needed to be set free from this. I was like, oh, okay, I can close for you, and you can go out, and you can have that catharsis of being freed from this responsibility to normalcy. That kind of seems to be Pomni's role, right? Like, she's the one who isn't already mired in whatever toxic polycule sort of dynamic is going on amongst these weirdos and freaks, and can act the most outside of these built-up long-time resentments. That seems to be Pomni's role here. Interesting that she's a clown girl, then. Jester. Which, again, is like, this is sort of the same thing that I talked about. Like, I did a video essay about the character design of Has-Been Hotel, right? Where there is always that, when you're dealing especially with independent animation, when you're dealing with people's personal passion projects like that, there's always that question of, like, okay, how much of these character designs are about, like, oh, we have very carefully built this character design from first principles to express a specific theme, and how much of it is like, these are the kinds of characters that I like, right? Like, these are characters that have banged around inside of my head as expressions of my personal aesthetic fixations or things that I just happen to like, and now I'm building something around them. Like, these are my OCs do not steal. I'm building a show around them, but their character designs don't really emerge from like a multi-layered, long-running considered process of like building a character design specifically to express a theme. They emerge from, this is the stuff I think that looks neat, and I'm working backwards in order to integrate that. Like, who knows? I don't know. I would have to ask Gooseworks about that, I guess. But regardless of that from the creator's side, you can still interpret it. Like, there is this thing, Jester's privilege, right? Like, this old concept that the jester, the clown, is the only person who can like sort of confront the king, who can speak truth to the king, who can mock them specifically, but also in mocking them can like reveal genuine problems and weaknesses. And like it's considered to be sort of a special kind of wisdom, like that the wisdom of being able to see the absurdity in others and point it out. And that kind of squares with what Pomni is doing, right? Like Pomni is sort of seeing all these maladaptive coping mechanisms in all of the other members of the circus and kind of going, is that like, hey, Jax, do you have any friends? Do you want to talk about that? Right? Like, so maybe it's a jester's privilege kind of thing. That like Pomni being the most normal is most able to see the absurdity in how everyone else is dealing with the situation. And most able to call it out or engage with it constructively. Like, it's interesting. Because like, definitely with Gangle, the character design seems very, very explicitly constructed around that mask. With Zubul, the character design is very, very explicitly designed around that, like, dysmorphia, dysphoria thing of, like, I have all these pieces, but they don't fit together, right? I don't feel normal in myself. My body doesn't feel like my own yet. Like, so definitely a lot of the character design feels very, very specifically directed about this character is about expressing that theme. Which makes me wonder about Kinger sometimes. Because, like, the most classic thing about the king piece in chess is that when that piece is taken off the board, the game is over. Right? Which, like, okay, so are we foreshadowing that Kinger is gonna self-sacrifice to set everyone free? Like, is that like the indication of like once Kinger is off the board, that's when the game is over? Because like we get that imagery in the Can I find that somewhere? Where the fuck was the intermission? That was before the bar, right? Like, right before? Everyone else gets a bowling ball dropped on their head. But Kinger's bowling ball is, like, conspicuously positioned so that it looks more like a planet. And he holds up the world, which then explodes, and then he gets taken off the board, right? I don't know. Like, are we setting up for Kinger to be the self-sacrifice that frees everyone? Because he's the one who mentioned in the horror episode 7 years of computer science for this, right? Like, he's the one who sort of most seems to be implying that he knows something more about how the systems work, right? That he understands something about, like, the way that these games are designed, the way that Caine works, the way that Caine thinks, like, the way that Caine would design a game like this. The implication seems to be that he seems to have some sort of better understanding of what all of this is, right? And when he is lucid, he's the one who's, like, most able to manipulate and, like, deal with the issues and the problems that are present here. The main anthropomorphizing features of Kinger are his eyes and his hands. There's this thing with him of, in the light, he sort of loses his lucidity, but in the darkness, he becomes very capable and lucid in himself. He can take his eyes off, but when you take the eyes off, if you take them off of him, then he also becomes more of an object, right? Like, he looks less like a person, more like a thing. Again, I don't know how much I'm reading way the fuck too much into this, but it does feel like the kind of thing that definitely could point towards, like, a final self-sacrifice of, like, Kinger surrendering his humanity in order to let everyone else out of the game. And what happens when your humanity breaks down in the digital circus? Well, abstraction. But that's the other thing. Abstraction has not really been explained, right? Like, abstraction has not really been... We saw it happen to Kaufmo. We know that Kinger's wife abstracted. Outside of that, it has just not come up, right? So we don't really know in the context that... I think I saw somewhere that the creators had confirmed that abstraction is like... when a human being's psychology completely breaks down, abstraction is what happens. And that it's like an irreversible process, right? Like, it's functionally a kind of death within the digital realm of the circus. It sort of begs the question of, like, if they were let back out of the digital realm, if they were returned to their human bodies somehow, if that's even possible anymore. Because I do note that in that shot that we got of the abandoned office, the headset was on the table and there was no sign of Pomni's body. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I am curious about the extent to which the character designs are meaningful versus the extent to which they are just sort of expressions of, I think this is neat. Because that's definitely, like, that's how they come across. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of doing a seasonal recap a little bit all of a sudden here. That's kind of how they come across in the intro. Like, that's... especially in the intro of the first episode, right? It all looks kind of just so random, right? Like, it all just kind of looks like this is an assemblage of a whole bunch of disconnected garbage that is all sort of jumbled together on screen. It looks like original character Do Not Steals, right? Like, very much so. That's, like, I think that's an intentional part of their presentation, right? Like, this is meant to look so random, right? This is meant to look like a bunch of random crap just all jumbled together. Boy, a lot of things changed about how they rendered the show since the episode 1.
Oh, Bubble, you always know how to make me say this exact...
Let's see, where the hell was that? Where was that? Where was the shot of the, like, final shot of the episode, right? Was it just so brief that I missed it before the credits? Oh yeah, there it is. Like, if this is where Pomni went, no sign of her body, right? But the power is still on. The progressive animation upgrades throughout this show also add to the realization of what's actually happening at the story. Like, these are real people having avatars that represent their mental states and not cartoon characters that are likely these characters' OCs, because these are people trapped in a digital simulation with no clear way out in the mercy of a mad god. That's definitely a way to read it. Like, I don't think that's invalid. I think it's probably more just, like, it's an independent YouTube animation show, and as they make more of it, they get better at making it. That's pretty common, right? You could definitely read it. Like, again, I'm reserving a lot of judgment on the show until I've seen it finished. Like, until I've seen the story actually sort of put its cards on the table and go, okay, here's what it is. Right? Here's the thing that we're doing. The Last Supper, for one thing. Which, again, if we're doing a Jesus thing, you would expect... Like, if this is long-planned foreshadowing, if we were doing a Jesus thing, we would expect... If Kinger is self-sacrificing, he would be in the middle. But it's Pomni in the middle. Well, sort of in the middle. As much as you can be in the middle of 6 people. How much did she see out there in the void? Yeah, I'm reserving a lot of judgment on the show until I've seen the final episode. Like, until I've seen this thing come together to where it wants to go and what it actually wants to say. But once it does say what it wants to say... Like, the way they render the digital circus, like, even in the intro flat lighting scene, when we're sort of in sitcom mode, it really is night and day. The way they handle, like, the rendering and the depth of field. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted there for a second. It's interesting. Like, they could drop the ball on all of this. Like, it's not... Just because I find it interesting now doesn't mean they'll actually land it, right? Why doesn't Gangle get an evil clone? Interesting question. Maybe Caine just doesn't know what the opposite of Gangle is. It's funny that it's also funny that Caine thinks that a king is the opposite of a dictator. Not so much.
I'm Bazooble. Yibba-dooba-dabba-dooba-da.
And he also clearly doesn't know what the opposite of Zooble is. Except, I guess, that Zooble is coherent and evil Zooble isn't. And I guess evil Zooble is unsubtle, whereas Zooble is quite subtle.
I'm Bazooble.
That wasn't in my suggestion.
Why don't I get an evil clone?
But first, let's welcome our special guest, here to sing the American National Anthem.
Oh, say.
That's a pretty good gag. I like Disappearing Guy. It's a good gag. Because, like, there's an art to choosing exactly when to cut him. Because, like, in the bar scene...
Me a whiskey sour, but hold the egg white. That sounds fitting. Bartender and... Sorry about the whole...
I keep missing where he is, I think. There he is. Right? Like, here we cut it, like, barely get the first, like tiny little bit of sound out of his mouth. But then at the baseball field, it's, oh, sir. There's an art to that. There's an art to cutting exactly at the right moment to make it funny. It is funnier, like, if he had just gone up and is like, oh, that would also have been funny. But it's way fucking funnier if he gets to start a phrase and like, oh, so... that's funnier. Like, giving him just a little bit more is funnier. It's a good gag. It really is. Anyway, that's probably enough. I am rambling, and this is, again, another fucking 3 hours I've gone on this damn thing. So let's cut it here so that I can start releasing some of these episodes to the public. I think the public might like that. I've had some people be quite annoyed at me for keeping these things in early access, which, like, I'm sorry, tough titty. It's 99 cents. I don't think it's an insurmountable paywall. It will come out eventually. I sounded kind of salty there, but that's because I am. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye.